Good morning, students. I hope everybody is doing well. And today we will discuss about the water pollution. Previously, we done with air pollution. Today we will discuss water pollution. Water pollution is the part of your syllabus, UPSC syllabus, paper three, that is environment, right? And today we will discuss a brief uh, introduction as well as the concept, what are the types of water pollution, what are causes and the consequences of water pollution, how the human life and the environment is affecting of this water pollution. Everything will be discussed in detail. This lecture will be useful for the UPSC as well as other state exams also. And the people, మా తెలంగాణ మెయిన్స్ గ్రూప్ 1 మెయిన్స్ ఎవరెవరు రాస్తున్నారో వాళ్ళకు కూడా చాలా యూజ్ అవుతుంది. ఎందుకంటే ఈ ఈ పర్టికులర్ లెక్చర్ లో ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ డీటెయిల్ గా అండ్ వెరీ ఈజీగా అండ్ లేమన్ లాంగ్వేజ్ అంటే అర్థమయ్యేటట్టు సింపుల్ లాంగ్వేజ్ లో యూజ్ చేస్తూ ఈ లెక్చర్ కంటిన్యూస్ గా 1 అవర్ 1.5 అవర్ ఉంటుంది. అండ్ దీంట్లో మీకు తగినట్టుగా ఈ స్టేట్ ఎగ్జామ్ అంటే మెయిన్స్ టీఎస్పీఎస్సీ గ్రూప్ 1 మెయిన్స్ కానీ అండ్ ఏపీపీఎస్సీ గ్రూప్ 1 ఫిలిమ్స్ కానీ చాలా యూజ్ అవుతుంది. అందరూ తప్పకుండా స్కిప్ చేయకుండా పేషెంట్ గా ఇది చూస్తే మీకు క్లియర్ గా అర్థమవుతుంది. నోట్ మేకింగ్ కూడా చేస్తే చాలా వాల్యూ యాడెడ్ గా మీకు యూజ్ అవుతుంది. అండ్ at the same time the people who are appearing next year mains like UPSC 2023 prelims or the TSPSC group 1 mains అందరికి యూజ్ అవుతుంది, రైట్? అండ్ యూ కెన్ సీ ఆన్ ద స్క్రీన్, రైట్? సో right, you can see on the screen what are concepts, types of what you can see, you can see. So you can see, right? So here the types of concept, the types of what you can say, water on the earth or the sea water unfit for the drinking, fresh water shortages, global what you can say, global water scenarios. And next you can see ways to increase the global water supply and the service water, surface water. So we will not only discuss the availability, what you can say, types of water pollution, availability of water, and what you can say, availability of water, what are the causes, and what is the requirement of the what you can say, to mitigate the water pollution, what is the government role, what is the people's role, what is the what you can say, international organizations or the NGOs, what they're willing to do for to mitigate the water pollution or to cut short the water pollution. Everything will be discussed. You can see on the screen, right? The global scenarios or the global water scenarios, ways to increase the global all these things, right? And next you can see groundwater pollution. Groundwater is very much important topic, and we will discuss. And for the groundwater pollution, when we talk about groundwater pollution, government of India come up with what you can say, Jal Jeevan Mission. To be precise, Telangana government firstly they started Mission Bhagirath, right? I hope the people who are writing TSPSC group 1 mains they much aware about what you can say, Mission Bhagirath. And the difference between Mission Bhagirath or Jal Jeevan Mission is nothing but, whereas Mission Bhagirath is providing water for not only urban areas, rural areas, it is also providing for the urban areas. But whereas the Jal Jeevan Mission, it is providing only for the rural areas, right? And the Telangana group 1 means ఎవరెవరు రాస్తున్నారో జల్ జీవన్ మిషన్ ఆర్ లైక్ మిషన్ భగీరథ నుంచి క్వశ్చన్ కంపల్సరీ వస్తుంది. బికాస్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ ద లాస్ట్ 8 years, it is what you can say, providing efficient water for the what you can say, harvesting. You can see bountiful of harvest produce. Water provided with the help of Kaleshwaram project and Mission Bhagirath. మన ప్రొడక్షన్ చాలా హైగా ఉంది. అండ్ ఈవెన్ ద పంజాబ్ ప్రీవియస్లీ కన్సిడర్డ్ యాజ్ వాట్ యూ కెన్ సే రైస్ బౌల్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా. ఆ ఫార్మర్స్ మన like what you can say, last year protest చేస్తున్నప్పుడు ఢిల్లీలో those people itself they admire the irrigation facilities of Telangana and the farmers well-being, right? And we have Raitu Bandhu, Raitu Bima, 24 what you can say, 24 hours of electricity. All we that they are saying that next upcoming or the next rice bowl of India is Telangana. So you can see the result, how we all this can be happening, right? So with the what you can say a government effective policy making and the implementation, and what you can say the people's what you can say their role, right? Okay, government can implement, or what you can say government take the skill, but implement after the implementation, people participation and their role is very important, right? In this way. Next, types of water pollution. What are the major water pollution, and what are the water pollutants? And next, the what you can say form of water pollutants, role of household polluting water, and we know that how what you can say. Though we are what you can say, how we may think that only industrial waste are getting very huge, but not only industrial, agriculture waste, or what you can say households also, you see that frequently, what you can say wasting the water for what you can say washing the cars, or washing what you can say unnecessary things. Households are very much unwantedly using the water, and their huge amount of water is wasted, right here. And next you can see the role of agriculture in what you can say polluting the water. We discussed the role of industrial polluting the water, and what you can say impact of water pollution. What are the impact of water pollution? And next we are seeing the what you can say these uh, import important and regulations of the government. All these things we will discuss. And another important water pollution is this what you can say oil spills. When oil is transported or imported from the Gulf nations to India or the Southeastern Asian nations, it is traveled, what you can say, imported through the sea route. Any damage or any, what you can say, was simply the damage or any accident happen, you know that the oil will be, what you can say, leakage, or else it will be, what you can say, on the sea floor, right? You know that oil is lighter than the air. So when oil is accumulated on the sea surface, simply it will, what you can say, when oil is accumulated on the sea surface, it does not allow the sunlight to pass through that, right? So in where the accident or the leakage is happened in that area, the sunlight cannot penetrate into the water. So with that, without sunlight, the what you can say living organism, maybe fish, algae, all these few living organisms, without sunlight they may result in, what you can say, death of those organisms also, right? That is the reason oil spill also very one of the most important for this what you can say water pollution. Acid rain, with the what you can say uh, what you can say with the more afforestation, all this more of deforestation, all these things, with the limited, so with the more of global warming, all these acid rains are day by day it is increasing. And next, eutrophication is nothing but, what you can say, adding of more uh, nutritions or running water into the nearby lakes. All it may, what you can say, accumulate, same how the oil spills, or what you can say it does, forming a layer on the top. In the same way, nutrification also, what you can say, eutrophication also will form a layer with the dust particles, with the chemicals, all, and does not allow what you can say sunlight to pass through, or what you can say dissolved oxygen also. What is dissolved oxygen? In the sense, we normally, what you can say, inhale the oxygen, right? But in the what you can say organisms which are living under the sea, they will breathe what you can say dissolved oxygen, right? So when the dissolved oxygen, they, what you can say, needed, if anything is accumulated on the top, like oil, or it does not allow the sunlight, what the next result is, without any sunlight or the what you can say dissolved oxygen, they may result lack of food or lack of required nutrition. They may die, right? Clear. And you can see the chemical oxygen demand, COD, and biochemical oxygen demand, right? And next we can see Yamuna action plan. In the same way, we have the Ganga action plan. How the government is taking measures to clean Ganga river, all these things, right? And another peculiar thing about the major rivers, right, especially Ganga. In the olden days, there is a saying that if you drink Ganga water, it is medicinal for the many diseases. Why it is a fact, right? Scientifically also it is proven because river Ganga is flowing through many of the forests. In that forest area, the herbs, many medicinal plants, herbs, or all the what you can say, it is flowing through that forest. So in that way, the medicinal value plants may be uprooted, or else somehow those plants are mixed with this water. So in this way, we assume or else prove that it has a medicinal value. With as of now, with the amount of pollution or amount of what we can say, this heavy urbanization or deforestation is going on, the Ganga River day by day, it's what you can say, increasing the pollutant, right? And that is the reason to mitigate the pollution, and we need to have the clean Ganga, right? So in that way, we have the Ganga Action Plan also, right? Next, you can see, right, organization responsible for this water management, sustainable water management, and the practice all, and the river rainwater harvest, and the wall water, and the prevention, all this, right? Stop plastic pollution. And after what you can say, these things we will discuss about the plastic pollution also, right? And next thing, just right. So you can see all these things, right? And what we discussed, what you can say, just you can go through all this concept, everything we will be discussing, right? And water pollution. Just give me a minute, right? So water pollution and how air pollution is important. Same way, water pollution also is important, right? And I already told you it is part of what you can say your paper three environment, right? And I told you it is not only important for the UPSC, it is also important for the state exams. Such as we said, the lecture will be mostly on English and Telugu. అండ్ నేను చాలా లో లెవెల్ ఆఫ్ ఇంగ్లీష్ యూజ్ చేస్తున్నాను. ఎందుకంటే అందరికి నీట్ గా అర్థం అవ్వాలి. ఇక్కడ నాకు ఎంత ఇంగ్లీష్ వచ్చు అనేది మ్యాటర్ కాదు. మీకు ఎంత అర్థం అవుతుంది, మీకు ఎంత ఈజీగా అర్థం అవుతుంది అనేది ఇంపార్టెంట్. అందుకని నేను చాలా లో లెవెల్ ఆఫ్ ఇంగ్లీష్ మాట్లాడుతున్నాను అండ్ చాలా మెల్లిగా చెప్తున్నాను. చాలా టైం ఉంది మనకు. వన్ బై వన్ స్లైడ్ బై స్లైడ్ డీటెయిల్ గా డిస్కస్ చేస్తూ వెళ్దాం, రైట్? జస్ట్ మీకు క్లియర్ గా అర్థం కావాలనేది మా ఓల్ ఏజెండా, రైట్? సో మీకు ఎప్పుడైతే క్లియర్ గా అర్థమవుతుందో అది దట్ ఈస్ ద మెయిన్ ఎజెండా ఆఫ్ దిస్ లెక్చర్, రైట్? నాట్ ఫాస్ట్ గా ఎక్కువ ఫ్యాక్ట్స్ కానీ అది కాకుండా జస్ట్ ఎగ్జామ్ కి ఎంత అవసరమో అంత అంతే మేము ఇస్తాము. ఎగ్జామ్ కి అవసరం లేకుండా ఓవర్ గా ఇవ్వడం మా మా ఎజెండా కాదు. జస్ట్ ఎగ్జామ్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఏంటి, సిలబస్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఏంటి, ఫార్మాట్ ఏంటి, ట్రెండ్స్ ఏంటి, ప్రీవియస్ ఇయర్స్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఎలా ఉన్నాయి, ఫార్మాట్ అన్ని చూసి ఎగ్జామ్ కి ఏది రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఉంటే అదే ఇస్తాము. ఓకేనా? రైట్. నెక్స్ట్. రైట్. ఫైన్. సో what are water resources, right? Simple. Water resources are nothing but what you can say source of water that are useful or the potential useful to the humans. So how water resources ante lakes gaani, rivers gaani, canals ante man made. So it is what you can say collected water through. So these are water resources. Simply the examples of the water resources are nothing but lakes, rivers, right? So which are useful, potentially useful to the human. So with that water, how the human will use that, and simply those are like nothing but water resources, right? So next, what are the uh, various types of water found on the earth? So you can simply there to be precise, you know that uh, 2 by third of the earth is what you can say we have the water. But only we can drink only the fresh water as of 0.1% or 0.2% itself. We can have the diagram so you can have the clear clarity over it. Just go through the line. Total volume of the water on earth is about what you can say 1.14 billion cubic meter. This water can be divided into two broad categories: salt water and the fresh water. Only almost what you can say. 30% of the fresh water available, but 30% or 20% around. So you can see only 2.5% of the fresh water, right? So you can see over there, right? Just give me a second. Right. So you can see only 2.5% fresh water is available. In the 2.5% also we have the glaciers and the ice cubes, like polar ice bergs అవి ఉంటాయి కదా ఫ్రెష్ వాటర్ లో 2.5% ఉంటాయి. 2.5% లో ఆల్మోస్ట్ 70% ఐ వాట్ యూ కెన్ సే ఇట్ ఈస్ ఫ్రోజన్ అండర్ దిస్ ఐస్ క్యూబ్స్. మిగతా 30% గ్రౌండ్ వాటర్, right? And the surface freshwater only 1.2%, right? A surface water lo kuda next వచ్చేసి what you can say, we have the lakes, rivers, or the living atmosphere water vapor kuda, like we have the soil moisture, soil content. So all out of what you can say, this mere 2.5% లో groundwater glaciers లో ఉన్నాయి. So only hardly require what you can say, hardly మనకి ఎంత just 2% లో అట్లీస్ట్ 1 or 0.1% or 2% are readily available for the human. దీన్ని బట్టి మనం అర్థం చేసుకోవచ్చు ఏంటంటే వాటర్ స్కేర్సిటీ వెరీ హై. కమింగ్ ఇయర్స్ టు 2025 2030లో the world half of the globe will be having the water scarcity. And you know that మీకు క్లియర్ గా తెలుసు నెక్స్ట్ వరల్డ్ వార్ 3 అనేది వాటర్ కోసం జరుగుతుంది అని, రైట్? దేర్ ఈస్ అ స్టాట్స్ అండ్ దేర్ ఆర్ సేయింగ్స్, రైట్? సో the usage of the water is very important. How we are using the water is very important. And with the government initiation and the government, what you can say, government initiatives కావచ్చు, గవర్నమెంట్ స్కీమ్స్ కావచ్చు, ఎవ్రీథింగ్ should be in such a way that next future generations should, what you can say, should not suffer from the water scarcity. And you may say, you may, what you can say, saying this, right? Sir, we are having, what you can say, almost surrounded by the water. And the stats also saying that almost 2/3 of the globe having the water. But how we can use that, right? And as of now, I told you the two mega, what you can say, schemes, which is one from Telangana government. Telangana government, what you can say, very successfully implementing Mission Bhagirath, right? మీకు తెలుసు. And group 1, the people are writing the group 1 mains, Telangana group 1 mains. అందరికి బాగా effective knowledge ఉంటుంది about Mission Bhagirath. And end of the class, we will discuss what is Mission Bhagirath and how it is effectively providing water to each house, right? And we have the Jal Jeevan mission, right? The main the agent of Jal Jeevan mission is nothing but provide piped drinking water to every household, rural household by 2024, right? Simple, clear. So out of this 2%, so we are having the groundwater level, and we are having these glaciers. Also, readily we have almost just 0.1% or 2% available readily. Clear? Yeah. And next, so you can see here, right? So how this salt water, how it is, what you can say, just you can see salt water almost almost 97.5%, and we have the mere 2% of, what you can say. And 2% is next, what you can say, fresh water. You can say out of that fresh water, 79% or 69 79% is yours, what you can say, these ice caps. The fresh water ఏదైతే ఉందో almost 80% or 70 to 80% itself, it is stuck in the ice caps or the glaciers, right? Himalaya, like what you can say, Atlantic, Antarctic, or what you can say, continent లో ఉన్న ice cubes లో our fresh water ఉంది. And మిగతా 20% ఎక్కడివి? And మిగతా 20% లో you can have these groundwater, right? Just give me a second. Yeah, you can see here, right? Only 20% of the groundwater. A 20% next, మిగిలిన 1% లో we have the fresh water for, what you can say, sea. So water in lakes or water in soil, right? So and another just mere, what you can say, just 10% low. we have water vapor in the atmosphere, river water, water in the living organism. So all this, right? Near a 2%, 2.5% లో కూడా మనకి అవైలబుల్ గా ఓన్లీ జస్ట్ 0.1% or 2%, right? That is the reason we need to use effectively, should not waste the water, right? And you can see on the diagrams which easily you can have the glance over what we are discussing, right? Why is the seawater is considered unfit for the drink, right? Uh, so why? And normal ga we discussed that what you can say the fresh water is only 2.5%, right? But manak sea water undi, and India is a peninsular subcontinent, a three sides peninsular, right? Three sides water unnai. So water మనకి యూజ్ రాదా? ఎందుకంటే సీ వాటర్ లో ఆల్మోస్ట్ 3.5% dissolved salt ఉంటుంది, right? It is about 3 times of as salty as the human blood. So why we can't access or unfit for the drinking in the sense sea water లో too salty ఉంటుంది, and we can okay Mirano sir, with the modern technology the salt water can be converted into what you can say drinking water. Okay, I agree with that. But uh, the technology should be in such a way that we should minimize what you can say wastage. For example, when we what you can say take sea water from the sea and filter it, more amount of water is wasted after the filtration, right? So we need to cut short, right? And when we consume this sea water, the cause of osmosis or what you can say dehydration. You know that what is dehydration is nothing but losing of your what you can say liquids in the body content. And the best example on మీకు వాంటింగ్స్ కానీ మోషన్స్ అయినప్పుడు డీహైడ్రేట్ అవుతాం, రైట్? సో సింపుల్ అలా గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి. ఇట్ ఈస్ వెరీ what are the major reasons behind the growing shortage of fresh water? And you can see 2/3 of the global populations could be under the stress due to the water scarcity by 2025. So I told you half of the globe will be suffering as of now suffering. You can see the stat, right? 2/3 of the global populations could be under the stress coming 2-3 years slow, right? So we need to have that effective policies for these what you can say water pollution. Clear? And next, you can see water stress and how what you can say these water stress or the quality, environmental flow, accessibility, volumetric availability, everything, water scarcity you can see. And this is risk due to the company's operations, products, and the services. So we are discussed what like we previously when we are what you can say in this index of the what you can say lecture we seen, right? How households or the industries pollutions or what you can say may one of the causes for the water pollution. So yeah, you can see the risk due to the basin conditions or the non-stress related to factor governance. So nothing but the governance here, nothing but the government role, regularity, physical and reputational. Nothing but how regularity in the sense the government need to have the regular effective management of the water resources and should able to see that it less polluted. And for the physical is nothing but the participation of the people, and the reputation is nothing but what you can say the more of participation of the people with the help of the government, more of the pollution will be decreasing, right? You can see the fresh water shortage. The 4 billion people, almost 2/3 of the global population, and you can see on like latest data is that on October 15th, what you can say the global population touched the 8 billion mark, right? It is one of the achievements, and what you can say the out of what you can see 4 billions, uh, almost 2/3 of global populations are suffering from this freshwater scarcity, right? Experience a severe water scarcity for at least 1 month each year. Out of the 12 months, 1 month they have the extreme or the severe water scarcity. Maybe they don't have the drinking water what you can say facility. And one of few of these African nations, what you can say this Sudan Zambia or these Namibia, those people, due to lack of unavailability of drinking water, they will drink at the morning. They will drink what you can say cow blood, right? They will feed their children with the cow blood, right? This is a fact. You can check over the internet sources all these things. In the African nations, due to unavailability of the water or the water scarcity, they will feed their children and they will drink the cow milk. I mean, cow blood. Clear? So that is the level of water scarcity in African nation. That is third world nation. So developed countries or with the help of United Nations, you can see on bottom of the screen, these United Nations and developed and developing countries or the developed countries and countries like India also helping these African nations to what you can say to provide the water and to generate all the water and provide the necessity so that those people have what you can say access to the water, right? Some 700 million people could be displaced by intense water crisis by 2030. Here displaced is nothing but in Africa you don't have the water or the severe water scarcity. So, in search of the better water resources or in search of this water availability, they move they will leave that village and they move to other places, right? So, that is nothing but displacement, right? Off of the world pollutions could be living in the areas facing the water scarcity by early early as 2025. So, when as of now, when we does not put an what you can say end for these water pollution, all these factories or what you can say basic norms for the factories to reduce their pollution, all these things, the severe water scarcity is coming around the corner, right? And almost half of the population, right? Clear? Half of the population need to face water severe water scarcity, right? Yeah. Next, facts are the figure. Just go through it. It is very important. It what you can say in your mains answer writing. It adds తెలంగాణ గ్రూప్ 1 ఎగ్జామ్ ఎవరైతే రాస్తున్నారో వాళ్ళకి చాలా ఎఫెక్టివ్ గా ఉంటుంది. ఎందుకంటే మామూలుగా ఆన్సర్ రాసాక ది వాల్యూ అడిషన్ పాయింట్స్ విత్డ్రా ఇవి రాస్తాయి. విత్డ్రా 20% or more of it renewable freshwater resources. It is called as water stress, right? And 5 out of the 11 regions has the water stress value about 25%, including 2 regions with high water stress and one with extreme water stress. Water stress stressed areas అంటే ఏం లేదు. Like మనకి normally we have the lakes or the rivers have the what we can say fresh water lake, right? And the river, if for example, as per the fact or the scientific knowledge, like what you can say, for every 3 kilometers the Ganga river or the major rivers Yamuna, Godavari, these rivers can what you can say automatically refilter the water and make them into the polluted water will be turning into fresh water or the clean water which is what you can say use it for the drinking. But with the previously we don't have the too much of urbanization or the deforestation, right? With the as of now with the too much of deforestation or the what you can say construction, deforestation, everything, urbanization. So the river does not have that what you can say space to what you can say refilter the water, right? So that is the reason we can what you can say it is called water stress. ఉన్న దానికన్నా ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఎక్కువ వాటర్ ని తీసుకుంటున్నాం కాబట్టి వాటర్ స్ట్రెస్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ విత్డ్రాస్ 25% ఆఫ్ ద మోర్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్స్ రిన్యూవబుల్ వాటర్ రిసోర్స్ నథింగ్ బట్ వాటర్ స్ట్రెస్ అంటున్నా. అందులో కూడా 5 అవుట్ ఆఫ్ యూ కెన్ సీ హైలీ వాటర్ స్ట్రెస్ అండ్ వన్ విత్ ఎక్స్ట్రీమ్ వాటర్ స్ట్రెస్. రిక్వైర్మెంట్ కన్నా డబల్ ట్రిపుల్ టైమ్స్ మనం వాటర్ తీసుకుంటున్నాం. మేబీ ఇండస్ట్రియల్ యూజ్ అని కావచ్చు, మేబీ హౌస్ హోల్డ్ యూజ్ కావచ్చు. జస్ట్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఎంత రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఉంటే అంత తీసుకోవడం ఓకే, ఇట్ ఈస్ వాట్ యూ కెన్ సే సింప్లీ యాక్సెప్టబుల్. బట్ ఉన్న రిక్వైర్మెంట్ కన్నా డబల్ త్రిబుల్ తీసుకుంటే వాట్ యూ కెన్ సే ఆ రిసోర్స్ మీద స్ట్రెస్ దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ యూ కెన్ సే స్ట్రెస్ అవుతుంది. వాట్ యూ కెన్ సే the resource waste చేస్తున్నాం. At the same time, the technically it is called water stress. Clear? Next. So I gave this picture because you can clearly demarcate the what you can say coming years, how the water stress, how the water scarcity by the countries. You can see India on the red, what you can say, extremely high, right? Extremely high, and you can see yellow, low to medium. Nepal, okay, it is what you can say very low, what you can say, population. So Nepal can have their areas, and you can see, okay, you may say in African areas there is a lack of availability of data, or due to other reasons, there is a few countries does not have the effective data. That is the reason they are not showing that, right? And in the America also you have USA, right? Canada, it is okay, and Russian also have. China also will be suffering from these water scarcity or the water stress by 2040. Clear, right? అండ్ యూ కెన్ సీ స్టాట్స్. ఈ స్టాట్స్ ఎందుకు యూస్ఫుల్ అంటే మీరు ఆన్సర్ రాసాక లాస్ట్ బిఫోర్ వాట్ యూ కెన్ సే కంక్లూజన్ కి ముందు జస్ట్ ఈ స్టాట్స్ అని కాకుండా జస్ట్ ఆన్సర్ లో అలా మిక్స్ చేస్తే వాల్యూ అడిషన్ లాగా మేబీ 1 ఆర్ జస్ట్ 1 మార్క్ ఎక్స్ట్రా వచ్చిన మీకు ఆ 1 మార్క్ తోటి మీకు వాట్ యూ కెన్ సే ర్యాంక్ కానీ అవి చేంజ్ అవుతుంది. అందుకని ఈ స్టాట్స్ గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవడం జస్ట్ ట్రై టు ఈజీ స్టాట్స్ లైక్ 1 in 9 people worldwide, what you can say, just you can read, you can mark it, right? So this one, so 1 in 9 people worldwide do not have access to safe and clean drinking water, right? Yes, safe and clean drinking water. So I mean, safe and drinking water, clean drinking water, nothing but the what you can say, with this safe and clean drinking water, you can what you can say, you will be increase your healthiness, all these things. If non-availability of clean and what you can say safe water, you may suffering from illness, diseases. With the illness and diseases, you as an individual or the teenager, you cannot study because you may be suffering from the illness or the diseases, or the adult, they cannot do the work properly with the illness. So having access to the safe and clean drinking water is very important, right? In every 9 people, one person, 1 in every 9 people does not have access to what you can say these clean drinking water. That is the criteria, right? And that is a scenario of the globe, right? 80% of the illnesses are linked to, you can see here, right? 80% of the illnesses are what you can say linked to the poor water or the sanitation conditions in the developing countries. So almost like 80% of the diseases are due to the what you can say sanitation problem or food drinking facilities or food drinking water, right? The water which does not have the safe or the clean drink, right? So that is 80%. And over 1/2 of the developing countries fly what you can see school does not have access to the what you can say these water and sanitation facilities. Almost half of the schools in the developing countries like India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, what you can say, Pakistan, all these countries and most of the Asian and African countries or developing countries does not have access, schools does not have access to the what you can say, this clean drinking water, right? And you can see like other stats like 783 million people does not have access to the clean drinking water. Almost what you can say, like though all 700 plus or 780 million people does not have access to the clean and safe drinking water. Right? This very what you can say almost half of the people does not have access to clean drinking water. Normal water వేరు clean drinking water వేరు అదే చెప్తున్నా. Clean drinking water, the people who are access to the safe and clean drinking water, what you can say, they can maintain their health, they can do their day to day activities in effective way. The నార్మల్ గా అవైలబిలిటీ లేకపోతే ఏ వాటర్ పడితే ఆ వాటర్ తాగడం, ఆ వాటర్ క్లీన్ అండ్ సేఫ్ గా లేకపోతే డిసీజెస్ రావడం కానీ ఆర్ ఇన్ హెల్త్ ఆర్ వాట్ యూ కెన్ సే హెల్త్ బాగాలేకుండా వాళ్ళని హాస్పిటలైజేషన్ అవన్నీ వాట్ యూ కెన్ సే వేస్ట్ ఆఫ్ వాట్ యూ కెన్ సే ఎఫెక్టివ్నెస్ వల్ల తగ్గిపోతుంది. రైట్. అందుకే క్లీన్ అండ్ డ్రింకింగ్ వాటర్, క్లీన్ అండ్ సేఫ్ వాటర్ తాగడం చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ అని సర్వేస్ కానీ నార్మల్గా చెప్తారు కదా. రైట్. సో యూ కెన్ సీ నెక్స్ట్ 443 million people school days are lost each year due to the water related diseases. సో ఇందాక చెప్పుకున్నాం రైట్. ఎందుకు క్లీన్ అండ్ సేఫ్ వాటర్ వాట్ యూ కెన్ సే డ్రింక్ చేస్తే ఏంటంటే ద పీపుల్, ఎస్పెషల్లీ ద చిల్డ్రన్స్ రైట్, వాళ్ళు స్కూల్కి వెళ్ళడం, స్కూల్లో యాక్టివిటీస్ కానీ చదువుకోవడం అన్నీ చేయొచ్చు. వాళ్ళకి క్లీన్ డ్రింకింగ్ వాటర్ ఫెసిలిటీ లేకపోతే ఇన్ హెల్త్ గా ఉండడం కానీ, ఆర్ ఎల్స్ వాట్ యూ కెన్ సే డ్యూ టు వాట్ యూ కెన్ సే నాన్ అవైలబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ ద వాటర్ ఆర్ ద వాటర్ స్కేర్సిటీ, వాళ్ళు నార్మల్ క్లీన్ వాటర్ అన్సేఫ్ వాటర్ తాగితే ఏమవుతుందంటే వాళ్ళకి ఈ డిసీజెస్ రావడం కానీ, ఇన్‌హెల్త్ రావడం కానీ, ఇవన్నీ వల్ల వాళ్ళ స్కూల్స్ ఎఫెక్ట్ అవుతున్నాయి. సో మీకు ఫీవర్ వచ్చినప్పుడు స్కూల్‌కి వెళ్ళరు కదా. ఆబ్వియస్లీ యూ విల్ టేక్ ద రెస్ట్. సో ఇన్ ఆర్డర్ టు పుట్ అన్ ఎండ్ ఫర్ ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్స్, గవర్నమెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా అండ్ government, firstly the government of Telangana come up with this మిషన్ భగీరథ, రైట్. సో మిషన్ భగీరథ అని మీకు చెప్పాను, చాలాసార్లు స్ట్రెస్ చేస్తున్నాను. ఎందుకంటే టీఎస్పీఎస్సీ గ్రూప్ 1 మెయిన్స్ రాసే వాళ్ళు స్కీమ్స్, ఎస్పెషల్లీ మిషన్ భగీరథ కానీ, మిషన్ ఒకటి కాకతీయ ఆర్ వాట్ యూ కెన్ సే మిషన్ ఆర్ దిస్ రైతు బంధు, రైతు బీమా, దీస్ ఆర్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్, ఎస్పెషల్లీ మిషన్ కాకతీయ అండ్ మిషన్ భగీరథ, రైట్. మిషన్ కాకతీయ is nothing but regeneration of lakes and canals, right? And next one you can see 319 millions of people in sub uh, Saharan Africa are without access to improved reliable drinking water sources. I told you what is the condition of Africa. You can see the stats over here, right? So in this way, so you can see, right, the people in the sub-Saharan Africa are without access to the improved reliable drinking water source, right? So with this, you can understand, you can see how what you can say stats are saying and how vulnerable the people are, right? For this, not only the government, not only what you can say international organization, the people participation and the people awareness, right? Awareness of the water pollution, usage and reliability of the water sources, it is very important, and government should not only what you can say frame the policies for the improvement of what you can say water resources management, all these things. At the same time, they should make the people to participate in a water what you can say water conservation campaigns, or the what you can say mission or water conservation drives. All these they should make the people participate. Yeah. And then the more of what you can say these next conservation drives will be very effective. Without the participation of people or the awareness of the people, it is what you can say the government cannot achieve the complete goal, right? Yeah. Next. So you can see all these availability, right? Additional or the combined total area for the people suffering water scarcity, right? You can see on the left side, right? Uh, just give me a second. So here you can see the percentage of people affected all greater than what less than 22%, 22% to 32, and here 32 to 50%, and here greater than 50%, right? Greater than 50%. You can see almost 74 million people here, and 44 million here, and 72 million in European countries, and 100 millions, almost 100 plus million in African, and in Asian, complete Asian, we have almost 450 million people, right? Clear? The water scarcity, the aggregated in average, these are many people are suffering, and globally we have almost 750 million people are having this water scarcity, right? Yeah. And so just why we are having what you can say maps also or the diagrams also for the better understanding. సో నేను ఎంత డేటా ఇచ్చినా మీకు ఒక్కోసారి ఆ డేటా గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవడానికి చాలా వాట్ యూ కెన్ సే ఎక్కువ టైం తీసుకుంటుంది. అదే పిక్చర్‌గా డైరెక్ట్ ఇస్తున్నాననుకో, పిక్చర్ చూస్తే ఏమవుతుందంటే, ఆ పిక్చర్ డైరెక్ట్‌గా యూ కెన్ రీకాల్. అలా మీకు ఎఫెక్టివ్‌గా రాయడానికి ఎఫెక్టివ్‌గా గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవడానికి యూజ్ అవుతుంది. రైట్? ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ స్లైడ్ ఆర్ what you can say gave in a such a manner to have the better understanding and better what you can say recollecting that particular uh, topic, right? Yeah, thank you. Next you can see, so why a water shortage? Why water shortage? In the sense, you can see the global water use has increased by factor of 6 over the past 100 years. Factor over 6 in the sense, for the industrial purpose, for the what you can say household purposes, for the agriculture purposes. You know that 50%, more than 50% of the population in India are depending on agriculture, right? For the agriculture, the crops like the paddy, especially the paddy, it needs more water. Paddy, sugarcane, these are more water consumption plants. So for this irrigation purpose also, India is heavily dependent on the water resource, right? So for this, for the more from the past 100 years, due to less population, the usage of the water is also less. Less. But with the increasing of the population, with the increasing of what you can say availability or the need of the people, the water consumption is increasing day by day. That is the reason, right? And increasingly polluted water bodies, polluted and obviously, right? Almost 80% of untreated wastewater are directly what you can say ending up going into these what you can water bodies. 80% untreated, right? Polluted water, for example, household water for clothing purpose, for what you can say, and for clothing purpose, for the washing of utensils. These are what you can say. This water, when they treated, they can be used or what you can say recycled for the other uses also. For example, in the European countries, Ireland or few Scandinavian countries, they use toilet water and they will add more minerals. There is not pure white, there is a bit of a brownish color. When you have the normal mineral water or the normal water when we drink, it is more having more minerals than our water, right? In the Scandinavian countries, they use the what you can say toilet water and add few nutrients, and they use it for the drink. It tastes bit of a sour, but it is having more minerals, right? And you know that Virat Kohli will what you can say import is drinking water from the European nation, right? So European nations are very conscious how what they are drinking and how they want to use the resources, right? Nothing but the technology simply. When the technology and the what you can say scale resources or the resources used in a better way, obviously it is what you can say advantages for the human or the nature also. And next you can see third point, the climate uh, in induced harmful what you can say algae bloom. Here algae bloom is nothing but what you can say it is formed in the lakes or the water bodies with the what you can say greenish color. This I will show you, right? So the picture may be missing, right? Just give me, as of now, just algae blooms are nothing but it is what you can say formed in the water body. Sometimes with the over what you can say what you can say these chemicals, all these things, they more of algae, the greenish simple గా తెలుగులో చెప్పాలంటే నాస అంటాం కదా, రైట్? దట్ ఈస్ ఆల్గే బ్లూమ్స్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఎక్కువ నాస్ వస్తుందంటే వాటర్ క్వాలిటీ పడిపోతుంది కదా. విత్ ద మోర్ అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ హార్మ్ఫుల్ ఆల్గే blooms are formed in a water body, the water what you can say reduces its what you can say freshness, or what you can say it is unused, it cannot be used for the drinking purpose, right? Clear, right? The impact of changing climate, obviously with the climate change అవుతుంటే నేచర్ మీద ఎఫెక్ట్ పడుతుంది కదా. సో ఆబ్వియస్లీ క్లైమేట్ చేంజ్ వల్ల కూడా వాటర్ వాట్ యూ కెన్ సే పొల్యూషన్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతుంది. అండ్ టెరిస్ట్రియల్ వాటర్ స్టోరేజ్, The water held in the soil, snow, and ice is diminishing. Obviously, right? What you can say, that the fresh water 2.5 fresh water lo almost 70% we are what you can say having in the these polar ice cubes లో ఉన్నాయి. Clear? So దాన్ని what you can say with the increasing the global warming, obviously the water is melting and the sea level is increasing. Clear? Yeah. Next, and you can see almost agriculture usage is 69%, industrial it is 23%, and for the domestic usage it is 88%. So almost more what you can say 70% of the what you can say water resources are used for the agriculture. You know that most of the agriculture or most of these for the food production, right? To maintain that food security, we are using the water resources. I will show this very. Just give me a second. Yes, this is so for the production of the wheat. What you can say almost 6 650 liters of water for the 1 pound or the 500 grams. The barley it is 650 liters, and for the soya you can see 400 liters of for this 500, right? And for the millets, what you can say, though millets have the more protein, and year 2023 it will be celebrated as the year of millets, right? Millets have the more protein than compared to the other crop, right? It 2500 liters used for what you can say 1 pound or the 500 grams. For the 1 kg it is almost 5000 liters, right? For the toast, we have toast is nothing but the bread, 650 liters, sugar cane, 700, 750 liters, or for the tea, 900, 90 liters. For the coffee, 840 liters. The burgers, pizzas, you know that 650 the beef, and to be precise in India's tradition or this or the for the cow or the for the grazing of the cow, for the what you can say maintenance of the cow, we have almost 650 liters, 4650 liters. For the milk, from the cow or the buffaloes we obtain the milk. For that we need to feed the cow, we need to what you can say maintain for the all the purpose 1000 liters, almost 2000 liters of water is needed for 1 liter of milk. Clear? And for the cheese, 5000 liters for the 1 kg of cheese. From the milk, I got the cheese also, right? So these are the heavy, what you can say, water requirement of crops or day to day life, what we are using or the eating. It is mostly water dependent. So in the water dependent ఉన్నప్పుడు మనం ఎంత ఎఫెక్టివ్ గా ఉండాలి. Clear? So that is the reason. Don't waste the water, and the government is also trying with what you can say, providing the clean drinking waters to maintain what you can say these what you can people from safe drinking to able to provide the safe drinking water so that those people can have the healthier life, right? And just give me yeah. So here we are, right? So agriculture, we also seen how the barley or the sugar cane or the wheat, coffee, bread, milk, right? The cheese, all what we having coffee, tea. What are the consumption levels of water liters per kgs or the 500 grams, right? Yes. You can see what is the current water scenario worldwide. These are groundwater level, right? There is just it is increasing, but agriculture more usage, industrial and the municipal, right? Yeah. Just go through this next. Water pollution. So industrial waste are mixing with the what you can say nearby water bodies. That is the that is the main concern. And industries need to maintain as of with the better technologies or better what you can say norms of the government, strict implementation of the norms. The industries are now what you can say planning or maintaining the norms. But previously in the last decade, they did the least bothered about the norms, right? So simply they are mixing their waste with the nearby water bodies, and the people who are dependent on the village areas or the rural areas depend on that water bodies, maybe are suffering from the disease or something like that, right? Yeah. Next, you can see how do we define the water pollution. So simple, what you can say for the definition for the water pollution is nothing but the change in the physical, chemical, or the biological in the quality of the water, which has the harmful effect on the living organism that it drink or use it or living in it. So simple, not only for the human, the living organisms maybe using it, we are using it or drinking it. Living it in the sense nothing but sea organisms, right? The organisms or the living organisms which are living under the sea, right? Any change due to maybe physical, chemical, or the biological in the quality of the water, which harmful for effects on the living organisms, right? So that is nothing but water pollution. And the pollutants enter the water bodies, get dissolved, and remain suspended or deposited on the water bed. Sometimes the pollutants also seep down and contaminate the groundwater also. And the pollutant just what you can say, we cannot visibly see the pollutant. Maybe it is dissolved or what you can say deposited on the water bed. Deposited on water bed are nothing but oil spills, right? So why I told you clearly, right? What are the oil spills? When oil is leaked, when we are transporting, when we are importing the oil through these thing, sea routes, when it is leakage due to the damage or due to the XYZ region, when it is leakage, it simply floats on the surface of the water. When it is floats on the surface of the water, it does not allow oxygen or dissolved oxygen to pass through it, right? In that area, the living under the water living organisms will face due to lack of oxygen or the sunlight, they may result into death. Clear that? So these are the facts. According to the United Nations World Water Assessment Program, 2 million tons of the human waste is being drained into the world water every day. And this assessment program also specifies that in the developing nations, 70% of the industrial waste are dumped directly into the water body, thus polluting usable water supply. So I already told you how the developing countries previously with what you can say a non-following of norms. With as of now, most of the countries, especially India, has very serious on the environment. Right, there each and every policies or the regulations on the environment norms on the industries are following very strictly. Right, so for this we can what you can say uh, have the government's role. At the same time, industries also should able to cut short their what you can say pollution level. With the adoption of the modern technology, the pollution levels will can be mitigated. Yes, yeah. This world uh, water assessment program or the UNESCO established this world water assessment program in 2000 in response to call from the United Commission on the Sustainable Development. So just remember the World Water Assessment Program, what you can say, established by UNESCO in 2000. What you can say to call for the United Commission on the this sustainable development. Clear? Objective intended. The objective is nothing but to meet the growing requirements of United member states. You know that UNO, nothing but United Nation organization. It has 193 countries, member countries, and the international community, or nothing but the global community, for the wide range of policy, relevant, timely, reliable information in various field of water sources, resources, development, and management. In a particular, through the production of United Nation Water World Water Development Report. So every year we have the United Nation World water development report. Recently we have 2021-22 report also, right? So the main agenda of establishing this water assessment program is nothing but to meet the growing requirements. So ఇప్పుడు population పెరుగుతుంది, requirement పెరుగుతుంది. So to meet their demand, the government, what you can say, just give me a second. Yeah. To meet that growing requirement of what you can say world community or the international community of their, what you can say, maybe industrial policy or the people's well-being policy, or for these all the water field resources development and management can be assessed through this water world water development report, and it is under released by what you can say this United Nation UNESCO, right? So it will clearly indicate what are the availability resources. In 2022, we have a report, right? Simply the groundwater, which accounts for 99% of all the liquid fresh water, has a potential to provide the societies with the tremendous social and economic and environmental benefits and the opportunities. Groundwater already provides almost what you can say half of the total water used for the domestic purpose, including drinking water, right? And you know that Asia Pacific region is the largest groundwater observator in the world here, and the Asian countries alone accounts for the 60% of the global water withdrawal, right? So how these what you can say resources are using, what is the availability of the resources, how the resource using, everything can be done with this world water development indicator, right? Yeah. And you know that sustainable development goal. In that, the sixth goal is what you can say to support the achievement of what you can say sustainable development. Sixth goal is nothing but water and sanitation for all by 2030. సో లైక్ హియర్ ఇంకోటి చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ పాయింట్ ఇక్కడ ఏంటి అంటే సస్టైనబుల్ డెవలప్మెంట్ గోల్స్. ఎందుకంటే 17 గోల్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఇట్ హ్యాస్ అ టైమ్ పీరియడ్ ఆఫ్ 15 years. 2015లో వాట్ యూ కెన్ సే యునైటెడ్ నేషన్ enacted all the sustainable development goals. It should be fulfilled by 2030. 17 goals ఉంటాయి. Each and every goal is very important, starting from the no poverty or the zero poverty, the zero hunger death, water, climate, or the sustainable cities. Everything it almost what you can say gave important to each and every aspect of the what you can say requirement of the human nature, climate, everything, right? సో ద పీపుల్ ఎవరైతే ఎగ్జామ్స్ కి ప్రిపేర్ అవుతున్నా, ఏ కాంపిటేటివ్ ఎగ్జామ్ అయినా కావచ్చు, యూపీఎస్సి నుంచి లైక్ స్టేట్ ఎగ్జామ్స్, రైల్వేస్, ఎనీథింగ్, సస్టైనబుల్ డెవలప్మెంట్ గోల్స్ చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. యూ కెన్ ఎస్పెషల్లీ యూపీఎస్సి రాసే వాళ్ళు ఆర్ ద స్టేట్ గవర్నమెంట్ ఎగ్జామ్స్ రాసే వాళ్ళు మెయిన్స్ పర్స్పెక్టివ్ లో, మెయిన్స్ ఎగ్జామ్స్ మేబీ యూపీఎస్సి మెయిన్స్ నెక్స్ట్ ఇయర్ కానీ ఇప్పుడు తెలంగాణ మెయిన్స్ ఉంటుంది, లైక్ సో వాళ్ళకు ఏ టాపిక్ లో అయినా యూ కెన్ కోడ్ సస్టైనబుల్ డెవలప్మెంట్ goals, right? So sustainable development goals రాస్తే ఏమవుతుందంటే యూ కెన్ హ్యావ్ దట్ ఎడ్జ్ ఓవర్ అదర్ స్టూడెంట్స్, రైట్? నార్మల్ గా రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ ద ఆన్సర్స్ రాసి లీవ్ చేయొచ్చు, బట్ when you write, when you put the sustainable development goals as per required, maybe question on the water resources, question on the air pollution, question on the environment, question on the economic development, ఏది వచ్చినా you can relate this 17 goals ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి one or the other goal will be related directly or indirectly to that topic, right? So అలా you can have more what you can say value addition to your answer. అర్థమైందా? సో సస్టైనబుల్ డెవలప్మెంట్ గోల్స్ చదవండి, ఇట్ ఈస్ వెరీ యూజ్ క్లియర్. yes next you can see what are the different types of water pollution. uh, what you can say, you can see the point sources or the non-point sources. So just go through this, right? Give me a second. So you have the point sources and non-point sources, right? So two types of the water pollution. Point sources are nothing but as per the United Protection Agency defines, the point source or the pollutants of any single identified source of pollution from which the pollutants or discharges such as the pipe or this or ship or the factory or and here the point source are nothing but single, maybe it is factory, maybe it is one pipeline or the for the domestic purpose usage or other ships or nothing but just remember as of now example one the point source are nothing but from the factory itself, right? Next, non-point or what you can say, maybe it is from the rural household, from the urban areas, from the what you can say cattle rearing, or from the agriculture purpose, for the forestry. All these points are what you can say having mixed into one lake or the one water body. You can see on the screen, right? All these from the forestry, rural houses, city streets, urban developments, or the animal field bit. This all is accumulated to in this what you can say source. Clearly, the picture పెట్టడానికి కారణం ఇదే. ఎంత what you can say డేటా ఇచ్చినా చదవడానికి ఆర్ గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవడానికి చాలా కష్టం. బట్ ఆ పిక్చర్ డైరెక్ట్ గా చూస్తే యూ కెన్ డైరెక్ట్లీ ఆ పిక్చర్ రీకాల్ చేస్తే మీకు డైరెక్ట్ గా ఆప్షన్ వస్తుంది, రైట్? నెక్స్ట్, non-point sources. You can see how what you can say previous ఇది ఎలానో just ఇది more just improvisation of this, right? Yeah. Air pollution, right? Air pollution isn't only one mention. 72% of the urban sewages left untreated in the freshwater bodies. So nothing but 70% of the urban, almost 72% of the urban sewages are untreated in the sense if it is treated or if it is what we can say used usage recycle, it can be used once again and it can reduce water pollution. That is the meaning of this type statement, right? You can see the graph, right? India's water pollution estimated what wastewater generated at what you can say almost 40 to 39 million liters per day in urban areas and 72, right? You can see 60 like in the rural areas we have 65% having what you can say generate only 35% of wastewater or the water the waste generation. But whereas in the urban areas we have only 35% of population, but those people are generating 65%, right? And you can see treated the urban sewage only 28% is treated or what you can say recycle. Other 72%, right? Almost two by third of what you can say water wastage or the water is not treated, untreated, and it is directly mixing with the drinking water or the what you can say fresh water body. It is another what you can say the disaster. You can see water pollution is killing the millions of Indians. Here, how the technology or we can say reliable data can change that. So, okay, water pollution is killing millions of Indians, and as of now, we are using the technology to mitigate this loss, right? Or with the better technology, with the better technological upgradation, we want to put an end for the water pollution and water pollution related death, right? So, just give me a second. Yeah. So this is increasing in the economic or human cost of toxic water bodies. All right. At the recent World Bank report suggests that such a release of pollution or the upstream lower economic growth in the downstream areas reduce the GDP growth in these regions by up to third. So you may what you can say having the doubt. So how the water pollution will impact the GDP? Sir? I told you what you can say simply. The person like as of we are what you can say teenagers mostly like or the people who are under 20, those people are mostly having undergone maybe graduation or the school intermediate, all these things. After what you can say, attending 20-25 years of age, they need to go for the work, right? So in a normal circumstances, when you have access to the clean and safe drinking water, your health will be good, your maintenance or your study will be good, with a better study, better education, better what you can say, grades, or the better knowledge you can get, secure the better job, right? So in the job also you can work frequently and you get a better what you can say, better payment. But when you are unable to access for the clean and safe drinking water, you are due to the unsafe or the non what you can say, unsafe water, you may suffering from the health issues, one. And two is you are what you can say, you may not concentrate on your studies. If you are student, if you are an employee, you cannot do work effectively. In that way, if you are not doing work effectively, the particular product will be what you can say, production will be reducing. With the reduction in the production, obviously the company's output will be reducing. With the company's output is reducing in the market areas, the demand of that particular product will be decreasing. With the demand of that particular product is decreasing, the company may what you can say, may not have or what you can say, decrease their profit ratio, or else decrease their what you can say, share in their market. In that way, obviously when the production is decreasing, the economy, right, the GDP, the with the more factories or the more productivity is increasing, obviously the industries or the what you can say, the factory will what you can say, contribute more for the economy, right? With the decreasing their output, obviously there will be impact on the GDP in that way. So having maintaining your health is very important, and at the same time, with the what is drinking access to the safe and clean drinking water is also very important. Clear? Yeah. Next, you can see what you can say, the pollutant water, everything we are going into these water bodies only, right? So these are the major pollutant: organic pollutant, microorganisms, nutrients, suspended solids or the sediment, inorganic pollutant, thermal pollution, and radioactive pollutant. These are the major water pollutants. These are organic, meaning defining organic pollution, right? Organic matter such as the what you can say, leaves or the grasses, trash, and other household waste. Organic pollutions are nothing but they can be what you can say, this what you can degraded, or else what dissolved very fastly. Unlike the plastic, the grasses, leaves, or what you can say, other households, maybe the what you can say, they maybe they are pollutant, but they're less effective when compared to the plastic or other electronic items. So that is, it is severely hampered the biological activity of the water bodies, such as the lakes or oceans, by the excessive algae blooms or unpredicated predictantly reduce the biological organism oxygen demand, right? So though the organic pollutant does not have much impact, but sometimes it may have the severe impact on this algae, the growth of algae bloom, right? Walls freshwater bodies choked with this prosper. Right, next, detergent threaten Indian water bodies. Detergents are nothing but this usage of excess what you can say, what this clothing or the washing, the what you can say, detergent, it may ultimately what you can say, flow with the waste water, and it is end up in the water bodies, right? And other important thing is the what you can say, nutrification. Here nutrification is nothing but what you can say, the it is a water body of water into the water bodies, the flow of rich nutrition, and is so supporting a dense plant production like algae bloom and the decomposition, what I can say, which is decomposition which of we kill animal life by what I can say, depraving. So I have already we discussed about the algae bloom, right? How algae bloom is formed is nothing but when the chemical more amount of chemicals or the pesticides are directly adding into these water bodies, the green NASA on term, right? Aqua these when increasing of algae blooms, obviously the quality of the what you can say these what you can say water body will be decreasing, right? So with the eutrophication also the same thing. It is addition of the what you can say nitrates or the potassium, right? I will this is a clear picture you can understand, right? This is how the nitrogen or the potassium or this, right? These nutrition cause an increasing in this flow photoplankton. It's nothing but the algae blooms or what I can say all this. With this, all these what I can say they will be right. Just give me a second. I will show you. So you can with this sometimes with the more increasing of this these algae form here the sheet like. So with this the sunlight cannot enter into these. So with the more amount of algae, all this what you can say they will be floating on this and they does not allow sunlight to pass through it, or the level of this quality of the water will be decreasing, right? So in this way the more amount of algae or the eutrophication is very what you can say it decreases the quality of these water bodies, right? Yeah. Just go through the picture, it can be what you can say easily you can understand, right? Yeah. Eutrophication, a man-made disaster. Obviously, with the we are creating the more amount of pollution, more amount of what you can say, all these things, right? And eutrophication is characterized by the excess plant or algae growth, right? It will able to provide more waste or more chemical fertilizers, pesticides into the river body. With that, the algae blooms or the algae will grow effective, or the more algae. So here ecologically, what you can reduction in the biodiversity, changes in the structure and the functioning of the marine ecosystem. Because when more and more, what you can say, these algae blooms are happening, obviously it will have the what you can say impact on these marine ecosystem. Marine, which are the part of which are the organisms part of marine ecosystem, the sea fishes or what you can say other sea life organisms, crab. All these are part of marine ecosystem, right? Socio-economic reduction in the natural resource of the dimensional fish or the shellfish, and reduce income from the marine cultures of the fishes and the shellfishes. So with the more amount of eutrophication, it will be with severe impact on income of what you can say the people who are living on the what you can say fishing, all these things, right? Recreational values and income from the tourism. And with the more amount of what you can say eutrophication, these or these algae blooms, it may create the mess in that water bodies, and the water quality of the water will be decreasing. The people who we can on the tourism also, they doesn't want to go to that what you can say the polluted water bodies. Instead they want to go for the clean and neat, so that they can have their recreational activities, right? Increase the risk of poisoning of animals, including the human, by the algae toxin. So algae releases one toxin, right, or the toxic which may poison for the what you can say fishes as well as the humans also, or the marine ecosystem as well as human also. So we should be able to see that reduction or the cutting of eutrophication, so which give the boost for this algae form, right? Yeah. Next, organic pollutants. Already organic pollution of the rivers, or the combined threat of the urbanization or the livestock farming or the global climate change. So the major is urbanization or the livestock farming is nothing but your what you can say. this poultry farming, cattle raiding, all this come under this, right? And the global climate change and persistent organic pollutant and the fresh in the freshwater ecosystem. So we have the Stockholm, what you can say, convention on this, what you can say, the persistent organic pollutant. We will discuss later. Firstly, you can see what are the persistent organic pollutants. Widespread occurrence, long-term persistence, long-term or the strong resistance, long-range transportation, high bio accumulation, potentially increasing the impact on the human health and ecosystem. So, what are these are nothing but you can see there, what you can say, uh, bio accumulation. The bio accumulation is nothing but the gradual, what you can say, increasing of what you can say the substance of pesticides or the chemicals in an organism. Maybe using of more, for example, when we spray more pesticides or the chemicals on the food crops, for the what you can say for the more productivity. Obviously, when we consume it somehow directly or indirectly, it is what you can say in is what you can say coming into our body, right? So for this, what you can say we need as of now with the what you can say better awareness on the food production, all these things we are turning into more of organic. Organic is nothing but without chemicals, without pesticides, naturally, without using any chemicals or the pesticides, we are growing the things, right? So accumulation is nothing but bioaccumulation is nothing but what you can say flowing of more pesticides or the chemicals into a substance in organisms, right? And next you can see these are some emerging POPs. Just remember the shortcut, that is more than enough. DTT is more most important. Bioaccumulation and bio, what is biomagnification is nothing but the biological magnification, we can other name. The concentration of more toxic, what are the toxic, nothing but pesticides, or what you can say the concentration of more toxic or the pesticides on the tissue of an organism, right? So when accumulation is nothing but it is what you can say the pesticides are entering an organism, but magnification is more dangerous with the what you can say toxic or the pesticides are deposited on the tissues of the organisms, right? Yeah. Stockholm Convention. So, what again? Stockholm Convention on POP, nothing but the persistent organic pollutant, is a global treaty to protect the human life and environment from the POPs. Over 152 countries ratified the convention and entered into force on 17th May 2004. Like you know that it is what you can say. The main agenda of this Stockholm Convention is to eliminate or resist uh, this is the production of use of these POPs. The main agenda, just remember that, to eliminate or restrict the production of and use of these POPs, right? That is, and India is part of this, right? By ratifying the Stockholm Convention on January 12, 2006, India became part of this Stockholm Convention, right? And there are to be precise, when we discuss, we have 12 initiatives discussed, and 12 initiatives are divided into three categories, that is pesticides, industrial chemicals, and byproducts. Just remember the 12 what you can say in initiatives are divided into take 12 initiatives are taken under the Stockholm Conventions to mitigate or to eliminate the use of POPs. The 12 initiatives are subcategorized into three categories, right? Pesticides and industrial chemicals and byproducts. Clear? Yeah. Next one, financial mechanism. So funding of this is global financial facility is designed to intim what you can say financial mechanism for the Stockholm Convention, and it is a unique partnership of 18 agencies, not only the global environmental facility, but along with the United Nations organization. You know that it has different branches: UNESCO, World Bank, IMF. These all are the sub branches of United Nations, right? And multi developmental banks like Asian Development Bank, Asian Infrastructure and Investment Bank, other European banks, on national agencies and international organizations, right? So these all will be part of these, what you can say, uh, these Stockholm Convention implementation, right? Yeah. The Global Environmental Facility established on the eve of 1992 Rio Earth Summit, and for the action on this climate environment, right? Just remember, it is established on the eve of 1992. Right? Yeah. Next. So you can see what are the forever chemicals that are what is contaminating the river waters globally. You can see, according to the U.S. Center for the, what you can say, these disease control and prevention, PFAS, nothing but for fluoride, that we will discuss now. So this is that. So per and fluorinated substances, and this tendency to stick around in the environment, atmosphere and rainwater and soil for the longer period. These PFAS is nothing but they will hang around or stick around in the atmosphere or the environment for the longer period of time. Maybe in the rainwater, and with that rainwater will be polluted and the soil for the longer duration of time. So with the man-made chemicals used to make the non-stick. So how it this PFAS is generated in the sense for the non-stick cookware or the water, or what is it, clothing detergents, stain-resistant fabrics, cosmetics, fire-fighting foams, other products which are used in day-to-day life, or from these PFAS are produced. This is very harmful because it is staying for the longer duration of time than the usual, right? Yeah. So according to the US Center for the Disease Control and the uh, Prevention, the man-made chemicals used to make the non-stick cookwares, water-relevant clothing, strain-resistant fabric, cosmetics, fire-fighting foams, and many other products that resistant grease and water and oil. So the products which are resist the grease, water, and oil, that are the main cause for these what you can say, pollute these PFAS. Clear? Yeah. Next, you can see these are other things. The indicated list of substance covered by the list of these PFOS, it is the salt and related components will be available 16th meeting of POP's review committee. Just go through it, nothing more than this, right? So this is Rotterdam Convention also. After the Stockholm Convention, we have the Rotterdam Convention. Remember, it is in 2004. The, what you can say, Rotterdam Convention, and Rotterdam Convention on the prior informed what you can say consent procedure for the certain hazardous chemicals and the pesticides in the international trade, and provides the parties with the first line of defense against the hazardous chemicals. So just remember what is Rotterdam Convention. Why Rotterdam Convention? The main agenda is to if each and every country have the exports and imports, but few developed countries wantedly what you can say dumping their what you can say expired or use hazardous chemicals in the developing countries, right? So to put an end for this discrimination trade, the global nations come up with this, what I can say, Rotterdam Convention. Clear? So to put an end for hazardous chemicals of pesticides in these international trades. So it Rotterdam Convention will what you can say act as a first line of defense against this what you can say hazardous chemicals, imports. Especially, it is protecting the developing of the third world nations. When developed countries are dumping their chemical hazard or the expired goods on this, right? You can see it promotes the international efforts to protect the human health and environment, as well as enabling countries to decide if they want to import hazardous chemicals or the pesticides in the list in the convention. So it is not only what you can say protecting against the hazardous chemicals, it is also protecting the human health and as well as environment also. Simple. Rotterdam Convention is a good but one simple. Convention ఏంటంటే hazardous chemicals import చేసే వాళ్ళు or what I can say uh, hazardous chemicals ఇంపోర్ట్ చేయకుండా ఇంటర్నేషనల్ ట్రేడ్ లో థర్డ్ వరల్డ్ కంట్రీస్ ని కానీ డెవలపింగ్ కంట్రీస్ కానీ డెవలప్డ్ కంట్రీస్ నుంచి కాపాడడానికి రోటర్డామ్ కన్వెన్షన్ ఉంది. అండ్ నాట్ ఓన్లీ పుట్టింగ్ ఓన్లీ hazardous కెమికల్స్ కాకుండా హ్యూమన్ హెల్త్ కి ఏదైనా ఎఫెక్ట్ కావడం కానీ ఆర్ ఎన్వైరన్మెంటల్ ఏదైనా ఎఫెక్ట్ ఉన్న కెమికల్స్ ఇంపోర్ట్ చేసినా కూడా ఇవి ఒప్పుకోదు అని. క్లియర్? Basel Convention on the control of like next after the first we have the Stockholm Conventions, next Rotterdam, next Basel Convention. So Basel Convention is nothing but transboundary momentum of hazardous waste and their disposal to create was created to protect the people and environment from the negative effects of inappropriated management of hazardous waste wildlife. Transboundary. So in internet Rotterdam or this Rotterdam Convention is the international what you can say trade. Idi transboundary in the sense what are the transboundary is nothing but India Pakistan trade, India Nepal trade, India Bangladesh trade. They are side by country. I mean what you can say is near neighboring countries, right? So these neighboring countries also with the in the name of trade, all this we should not dispose the hazardous waste. So to protect the people, Basel countries are just remember Basel Convention is nothing but the control of transboundary movement of hazardous waste and their disposal. Transboundary. Rotterdam ఏమో international trade law. ఇది Basel ఏమో transbound. Clear? Thank you. Next, microbial pollutants. Remember, it is also very important. The surface water it is potentially dangerous as a carrier of pathogenic and microbial organisms. Where wherever it comes in contact with the human waste or the sea waste from the what is it surrounding locality. So you know that nothing but the microbial activities, the pathogen or the microorganism which is contacting with an human waste, right? Normally with the human waste, maybe sewages or human feces, when the microbial activity is going on and it is polluting the surrounding areas, right? And next, the existence of the fecal or the coliformal bacteria in the water body specifies that water has been polluted with the fecal substance of the warm blooded animals. So human feces or the animal waste or the household waste accumulated in nearby water body and in that area all what you can say microbial activities all you know that సింపుల్ గా చెప్తారు కదా ఏంటి ఎక్కడైతే మోర్ చెత్త గాని అవన్నీ ఒక కార్నర్ ఆఫ్ స్ట్రీట్ లో వేసి ఉంటే అక్కడ ఎక్కువ బ్యాక్టీరియా గాని మస్కిటోస్ గాని ఇవన్నీ ఉంటాయంటారు. సో సింపుల్ గా రైనీ సీజన్ లో మీ సరౌండింగ్స్ నీట్ గా ఉంటే మస్కిటోస్ రావని అంటారు కదా. సేమ్ వే ఇఫ్ యువర్ సరౌండింగ్స్ అండ్ యువర్ హౌస్ విల్ బి క్లీన్ యూ కెన్ బి ప్రొటెక్టెడ్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్ ఫ్రమ్ ద డిసీజెస్ అంటారు. సో సింపుల్ గా so make sure that this to avoid this microbial pollution you should not be what you can say feces gani avi gani direct water pollutant or the water body direct గా వెళ్ళకుండా దాన్ని what you can say we should segregate that waste, right? Yeah. next next as per the what you can say World Health Organization, as per the WHO, around 600 million cases of diarrhea and dysentery and what you can say 46,000 infant deaths were stated as per stated per year because of polluted water and insufficiency of the sanitation. You know, the diarrhea is nothing but the frequent, high frequent of motions, right? For the infants are nothing but just born babies, right? So due to unavailability or what you can due to the polluted water or what you can say lack of sanitation facilities, 46 infants are dying or the due to what you can say death happened due to these polluted water and lack of sanitation facilities, right? That is as per the WHO. This quote that on these are so the cattle farms was sending their waste into water bodies, wildlife, domesticated and industrious, water treated. Everything waste will be gone into one water body, and that water bodies at the village end or the city end having all these bacteria in that, right? Clear. Just see the picture, you can have the clear idea. So this is from normal waste you have the garbage waste into landscape, and you can see. Just give me a second. So you can see the garbage waste into the normal waste into garbages, and the garbage waste into landfills into the soils, right? All these what you can say all mixed up from the soil that directly will be penetrating into the groundwater into when we want it is surface water, right? So with the surface water we should use for the drinking water, right? So when the polluted water is given for the what you can say for the cattle rearing or the animal rearing or the poultry, all we consume the milk and chicken or the meat, right? So when these animals will feed on the chemicals or what you can say polluted water, obviously it will be accumulated on their what you can say tissues, right? So when we consume the milk, meat of what you can say goat or what you can say chicken, all these things, hence, so all will be affecting. Not only it affect those animals, when we consume those products, byproducts of those animals, it will what you can say impacting our health also. So with this diagram you can understand the clearly how it is leading garbages or how one water body having effect on other things, right? Clear? Any doubts you can ask me. Oh, so in these things you have the clear idea. This is the diagram you can in exam also. And one more thing, మెయిన్స్ రాసే వాళ్ళకి ఏంటంటే డయాగ్రామ్స్ అనేది ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఎందుకంటే you can't express what you can say entire meaning or entire your expression or entire related answer in a few lines, right? You can directly quote the diagram so that your whole answer will be reflected on the diagram. It fetches you the more marks. Clear? Diagram వేస్తే చాలా అడ్వాంటేజెస్ ఉంటాయి, రైట్? సో వేరే మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద పీపుల్ విల్ అవాయిడ్ చాలా వరకు డయాగ్రామ్స్ వేయరు. ఎందుకంటే అది టైం వేస్ట్ అని కానీ లేకపోతే డయాగ్రామ్స్ వేస్తే డయాగ్రామ్స్ ద ఎవరేస్తారంటే ద కాన్సెప్ట్ మీద నాలెడ్జ్ ఎఫెక్టివ్ నాలెడ్జ్ ఉన్న వాళ్ళే డయాగ్రామ్స్ వేస్తారు. సో ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ ఆన్సర్ అంటే అన్ని ఆన్సర్లు క్వాలిటీ ఆన్సర్లకు డయాగ్రామ్స్ ఏమి ఉండవు, రైట్? సో అలా కాకుండా ఎన్విరాన్మెంటల్లో కానీ జియోగ్రఫీలో కానీ ఎకానమీలో కానీ డయాగ్రామ్ ఆపర్చునిటీ ఉంటే వెయ్యండి. ఇట్ విల్ ఫెచెస్ యూ మోర్ మార్క్స్ అలా. నెక్స్ట్, సో ఇన్ఆర్గానిక్ పొల్యూటెంట్స్. వాట్ ఈస్ ద ఆర్గానిక్ అంటే గ్రాసెస్ కానీ లీవ్స్ కానీ వి డిస్కస్, రైట్? సో ఇన్ఆర్గానిక్ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ యూ కెన్ సీ heavy metal pollutants, mercury, lead, or non-metallic salts, acidic bases, byproducts of industries. You can see disorders, right? Uncoupled of these organ oxidative, right? Oxidative things and competitive for this calcium for the bones. These are the disorders, right? all the industry pollutant accumulate in the human body for the longer time, and they are difficult to choose out of the system. So with the what you can say more amount of this inorganic pollutant, it is very devastating impact on the human life, the disorders. So 75% of the rivers monitoring system stations report heavy metal pollution, and it is report is released by Center for Science and Environment. 75% of the river monitoring stations report that heavy metal pollutant, nothing but inorganic pollution. Pollutants are polluting the river water. You can see, according to the World Health Organization (WHO) 2011, the common toxic heavy metal that can be public health concerns includes the nickel, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel. All these are part of your what you can say heavy metal category, which having the severe impact on human life. Clear? So for this, right? Just give me a second. Yeah. For this, just remember these are the pollutants, right? So, the heavy metals, the sources of heavy materials are nothing but from the agriculture and forestry, industries, purpose, industry processes, and the fertilizers. You know that how the fertilizers and the chemicals have the severe impact on what you can say these on environment, and the waste disposal and mining, and what you can say this fossil fuel consumption, right? Right. So these are the sources of the heavy metals. How the inorganic heavy metals are part of your inorganic pollutants of water pollution. Next, so these are number of rivers polluted with the unacceptable levels of heavy metals. So which are almost severe amount of what you can say presence of these chemicals, right? Lead almost 69 rivers, nickel 25 rivers, iron it is almost 137 rivers. It is not only in India, across the globe, right? And the copper 10 rivers, chromium 21%, scandium it is 25 rivers, right? You can see the Ganga, what you can say, exceeds all these things, right? So Ganga, Yamuna, Brahmaputra, they are all existing what you can say iron, right? So the pollution check instances where the metals exceed the threshold value in some key rivers, and this threshold value is an average index that capture the persistence of the pollutants, nothing but POPs, through the year, as well as their lethal capacity. Lethal capacity is nothing but very dangerous for the human existence. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The role of what again households in polluting the water. You can see the main cause of water pollution, household waste, use of soaps, detergent, shampoos are mixed in with the clean water, what you can say, drainage, all this, and it is turning into dirty water and mixing with the nearby water bodies. So, when we are using the next, what with the COVID, most of the people are, what you can say, most of the people are caution about their health. So in near future, there will be more of a eco-friendly soaps or eco-friendly detergent. We are hoping with like that is why we are what I can say having this discussion. With the evolution of technology, we need to make that everything eco-friendly so that our existence should not affect what you can say the climate, and the climate in the same way will be having a what I can say better relationship with the human and the climate or the environment, right? You can see the water what causes for the fathoming in these Delhi Yamuna. Nothing but the how what you can say increasing of these ice cubes, or what you can say that what you can say more of pollution due to the pollution, the what you can the fathom, right? Just remember fathom reason. toxic, more amount of toxic increasing in the toxic levels. It is you can see on the screen how the river Yamuna, it is what you can say, filled with these ice things. What are the causes of for fathoming in rivers? According to the water program at the Center for Science and Environment, you can see phosphate present in the river causes the fathom, and the sulfonate and the phosphate found in the detergent in the household or the industrial laundry gets what you can say dumped into the rivers, and all the sewages is not treated. So you can see what you can say the fathom which is not treated properly, or the what you can say household detergents, soaps, or the industrial laundry industries of this laundry, all these not treated and directly dumped into these. That is the reason behind this fathom in these rivers, right? So role of agriculture in polluting: more people, more food, more what you can say worse the water, right? Yeah. And the major, so just remember this is a what you can say initiative led by what you can say book released by this Food and Agriculture Organization. It is one of the branches of United Nations, right? Yeah. As per what you can say Food and Agriculture Organization, major agriculture contributed to the water pollution, and the main targets for water pollution controls are the nutrition, pesticide, and the salt sediment, organic carbons, and pathogens, metals, and the drug resistance. So, as per these, what you can say, Food and Agriculture Organization, the major agriculture contributed to the pollutions, or the what you can nothing but, or the water pollutions are pesticides, or the chemicals, pathogens, or the metals, or the drug resistance. Here, drug resistance are nothing but we use more chemicals for the productivity or for killing the pest. So in that way, it is contributing for the water pollution. Clear? Yeah. Though these are just what are the nutrition, pesticides, or the salts, iron, ions of sodium, chloride, potassium, magnesium, sulfate, calcium, bicarbonate, right? So these just go through it. Nothing more than this. Role of industries in polluting the water. You can see here, right? So, the pollutants of poverty or the sanitation related bacteria, trash, and litters in the water. 80% you can see on the screen, bottom of the screen. 80% of the world wastewater is related to the environment without treatment, right? So, we already discussed almost 80%, only 20% wastewater is treated, right? But other 80% of the world wastewater is released to the environment without any treatment, so that it is waste. The use of nitrogen as a fertilizers has increased by more than 700% since 1960, with the nearly all of them growth occurs in the Asia. So you can see Asia is one of the highest contributors of these fertilizers, or the increase of nitrogen as a fertilizer, 700%, right? Because what you can say maybe India, China, and what you can see, you can both of the populous uh, countries in the world, right? First time, the second, and soon we are going to overtake China, right? Yeah. Next is what you can say emerging pollutants. The microplastics has profiliated throughout the world freshwater sources in the surface water, groundwater, and even in the rainwater. So nanoplastics or the pharmaceutical drugs, everything what you can say we need to mitigate that waste, right? For example, what you can say during the corona time, most of the people use the disposable mask. Okay, it is very good using the mask, but when the people just throwing their mask where we not in the dustbin or in the disposable bin, but they are throwing in a water bodies, throwing in on the road, so it create last lot of what you can say biological waste, right? So in this, when you are using something, you need to know where to throw, where not to throw, right? So just we people have that awareness, so that it is very important for their participation with the government role. I told you, not only government's initiation is important, but the people participation is very important, right? Yeah. So these are the, what you can say, countries with the water pollutant, with the textile industries all. So these are the most, what you can say, polluted, or these G20 countries. Just give me a second. Yeah. What are these impact of water pollution? Urban and domestic use or the human health will be affected with this water pollution. Social values and tourism with the polluted water. So very limited tourism will be having, and tourism is one of the contributed contribution for what you can say, for the economy, and the commercial fishing. So with the polluted water, there is very less productivity over the fishes. So fishes try to, what you can say, leave that, or due to excess polluted water, they may result in the death also. Ecosystem health. So if more polluted water, the ecosystem also will be affected. Industrial productivity, nothing but what you can say, more amount of polluted water, more amount of what you can say, all these things, it will be affecting industrial productivity as well as agriculture productivity also, right? So agriculture produce with the, what I can say, polluted, more chemical water, it cannot be used for the agriculture usage. So that is these are the impacts of water pollution, and this is. So can we determine the economic cost of a bad water quality? So these are biological organ oxygen demand, nothing but BOD we call it, well known as the polluted water harms. And the globally we can know previously, you can see that the unknown that they were, with the increasing of biologically oxygen demand, there is a decreasing in what I can say, GDP. Just vice versa. If DOD BOD is increasing, it will be impacting on GDP, and it is decreasing, right? Like next thing is oxys no, nitride oxide, nitrogen oxide, nitrogen, right? Well-known nitrates are lethal for the babies. Lethal is very dangerous, right? Previously unknown that nitrates increase the child stunning by 11, almost 11 to 19%, and decrease the adult earning by 1 to 2%, right? So here you can see on the screen how this nitrogen oxidized nitrogen has very severe impact on babies and the adults also, right? And salinity is nothing but salt content. Well known that salt degrades the land, and you can see enough food is lost every year because of the saline water to feed almost 170 million people, equivalent to a size of, what again, almost 170 million, due to the salinity, right? Salinity valla 170 million, అంటే 17 crores of population కి ఫుడ్ ఇవ్వలేకపోతున్నాం, జస్ట్ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ salinity or the salt content or the saline water, right? Almost it is equivalent to the Bangladesh. సో రఫ్ గా మనము ఇంకా క్లియర్ గా చెప్పుకోవాలంటే, వాటర్ సాలినిటీ వల్ల ఎంటైర్ బంగ్లాదేశ్ కి ఫుడ్ ఉండకుండా ఇవ్వలేకపోతున్నాం. జస్ట్ అన్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ ఇన్ బంగ్లాదేశ్, ఇట్ ఈస్ across the globe. 170 million people are, what you can say, unable to provide the food, right? With the salinity, increasing of salinity levels. So acid rain. So why acid rain? In the sense, what you can say, with the more amount of, what you can say, precipitation due to the sulfuric or nitric acid falls to the ground from the atmosphere in the wet and dry forms. This could include include rain, snow, fog, and hails, and even the dust that is acidic, right? So nothing but you can see acidic levels. You can see The pH 0 is the battery acid, and pH 2 is lemon juice, and pH 7 is distilled water, right? And pH 7.4 is blood, and you can see baking soda pH 9, right? So these are the acidic rain. How it is, right? Plants, due to the acid rain, the plants will die, right? What are the causes in the sense? Nitrate, sulfate. Due to the release of these, the pollution from the car factories, households, or the energy production, all these, what you can say, it helps, what you can say, one of the criteria for this acidic rain. Due to the acidic rain, the environment or the plants will be destroyed, right? Yeah. These are, just go through the picture, nothing more than that. Dissolved oxygen. I told you dissolved oxygen is nothing but, uh, as a human, we will, inhale the normal oxygen, but the species under the water, they need the dissolved oxygen. The common lake or the stream contains small amount of oxygen in the form of dissolved oxygen, right? And the dissolved oxygen is a crucial component of the natural water bodies, maintaining the aquatic life, nothing but underwater or the marine life, and the quality of asynthetic of streams and the lake. And dissolved oxygen is, what you can say, amount of oxygen that presents in the water. Water bodies receive the oxygen from the atmosphere, from the aquatic plants. Running water and such as of the swift moving stream dissolved more oxygen than the still water on the pond. So running water dissolves more oxygen than the, what you can say, still water. Just remember that point, very important. So these are the plants or the wind 100%, and thermoline, it is 60%. Decomposition is 60%. Availability of oxygen in the top level, it is 100%. When we go deep into the ocean, or the any water bodies, the oxygen level will be decreasing. Right? This is how, what you can say. Just to give me a second, I will show clearly. So with the more amount of, what you can say, these wastage polluted, and what you can say, algae, they won't able to enter the sunlight or dissolved oxygen. So here there is no chance of living fishes or anything. But and here with the less amount, fewer lesser, so it is survival for the few fishes. And here with the little more quality of water increases, more fishes, and here all the fishes can be living, right? Here and same, this can be a concern for the example for the oil spills also, right? When oil spills is happened, so the it does not it will the oil will be floating on the river, right? So it does not allow oxygen to enter it, right? So that is, so you can see the diagram clearly, it can be, right? So the why we are emphasizing, why I am emphasizing on these diagram, in the sense you can have the clear picture in ఇంత వాటికి మనం ఎక్కువ థియరీ ఇస్తే, అది థియరీ చదవడం కన్నా జస్ట్ ఒక డయాగ్రామ్ చూసి మీరు ఈజీగా అది రీకాల్ చేయొచ్చు, రైట్? ఐ దట్ ఈస్ ద రీజన్ గివింగ్ ద డయాగ్రామ్స్ ఆర్ దిస్, emphasizing on the diagrams more, right? Next. So biological oxygen demand, it is the amount of oxygen consumed by the bacteria, like you know that previously we discussed on this amount of oxygen consumed by the bacteria and other organisms while they decompose organic matters under aerobic conditions. And it is essentially a measure of amount of oxygen required to remove the waste organic matter from the water in the process of decomposing aerobic bacteria. So decompose, when the bacteria or microorganism decomposing these bacteria or these organisms, they use this biological oxygen demand, right? This is the level of water, like very good up to 1.2 level, fair, moderately clean, poor when 6 to 9, and it is more than very poor, very polluted and containing organic matter. So it is chemically same. How the biological chemically is nothing but capacity of the water to consume oxygen during the decomposition of organic matter in the water. In other words, it is the amount of oxygen that needed to oxidize the organic matter present in the quality of water. How the chemical is for the, what you can say, for these bacteria and microorganisms. This is for the decomposition of organic matter, right? Yeah. And water purification methods. Water purification for the human consumption process consists in the removal of different contaminations as the chemical, pollutant, and the toxic metals. Biological contaminations or algae, bacteria, and suspended solids and the gases. So you know that no, what you can say, normal water, fresh water will be purified and then it is converted into safe and clean drinking water. For the purification purpose, we need to remove the chemical contaminations, biological contamination, right? So the chemical contamination nothing but pollutants, biological nothing but algae or the parasites, fungi, all this, right? So the several methods used in the purification process. This physical processes or the biological processes, chemical processes, and use of ultraviolet light. So physical, we have the filtration or the sedimentation, distillation, and for the biological, we have the salt filters or what you can say active carbons. For the chemicals, we have what you can say chlorination or flocation, right? So fourth one is nothing but use of ultraviolet ray. So when ultraviolet rays is or the light is passes through these water bodies, the entire chemicals will be killed or removed in that, right? This is the, what you can say, how the purification of water is done, right? For the consumption, first it is taken in the raw water into one stage. It is chlorinated, and next sedimentation will be done, next filtration, next transmitted water storage, treated water storage, and finally two for the home consumption, right? Gray water and the black water. Gray water is nothing but what the households wastewater generated from the bathing, washing machine, all these things, right? And whereas the black water from the toilets or the dishwashers or the kitchen. Clear? Yeah, you can see the down on the pictures. It is clearly visible, right? Yeah. And next, water. What is water footprint? The water footprint is nothing but amount of water used to produce each of the goods and services we use. Right? Previously, I showed the picture, but as of now, footprint is nothing but for the use of uh, what you can say, for the production of what you can say wheat. We are using almost what you can say 1200 to 1300 liters of water per kg, right? And you can what you can say, for the production of each and every product we use water. The water footprint can be also tell us how much water is being consumed by the particular country or the globally in a specific river basin, or not only uh, goods and services, how the country wise we are demarcated the water footprints. These are already we discussed, right? Just go through it. Next one, for the smartphone, almost what you can say is for the production of one smartphone, we are using 12,000 liters. 12,000 liters. For the cup of coffee, we are using almost 130 liters. For the apple, 125. For the jeans production, we're using 8,000 liters for the jeans. Right? Right. Types of what you can say water: green, water, water footprint, blue, and the gray. Where these are the water footprint network is a platform for the collaboration between the companies, organizations, individuals to solve the world water crisis by advancing the fair and smart water usage. So the world footprint network is nothing but collaborating the countries and individuals to make sure that to mitigate or put a solution for the world water crisis by using the smart way of what all this. And we have the what you can say UN convention also on this, right? So this is, just give me a second. So just give me a second. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry for the inconvenience, just a technical issue. Right. The UN Water Convention, right? The Convention on the Protection and the Use of what you can say transboundary water courses, or the international lake, or the Water Convention, or it is an international legal instrument or the intergovernmental platform which aims to ensure the sustainable use of transboundary water resources. So you can say it is what you can say for the protection of or use of transboundary water courses and international lakes. Initially, it is negotiated as the regional instrument, but it was opened upon globally for the ac- uh, accession to all the United members in 2006. The Water Convention is a powerful tool to promote and achieve the objective of 2030 agenda for the sustainable development goals, right? We already discussed sixth goal is nothing but sustainable development goal out of 17. Sixth goal is water and sanitation for all by 2030. Clear? India signatory of the water convention is, right. So this world water assessment program, nothing but it is what you can say run by United UNESCO under this UNO. It is responsible for to call for the United Commission on the Sustainable Development to produce a UN system which a periodic global overview of the status in terms of quality and uh, qua- quantity use and management of the fresh resources. So World Water Assessment Program by UNESCO to maintain the what you can say quality and quantity use of management of freshwater resources, right? So we already discussed the world report, world water development report 2021-22. Nothing but most of the groundwater, 99% of the freshwater from the groundwater resources itself, right? India laws on water pollution. So Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974. The prime objective of this act is to provide for the prevention of water pollution and scatter to the maintenance of water bodies and carry out the activities to control the restoration of the water. So the Act of 1974 is nothing but to protect the prevention of the water pollution and at the same time maintenance of water bodies and carry out to promote the restoration of the water. Nothing, its agenda is very clear. Simple గా ఏంటంటే కెమికల్ పొల్యూషన్ నుంచి ప్రివెన్షన్ చేసి నెక్స్ట్ మెయింటెనెన్స్ చేసి ఆ తర్వాత రిస్టోరేషన్ ఫర్ ద డ్రింకింగ్ సేఫ్ డ్రింకింగ్ పర్పస్ రిస్టోరేషన్ చేయాలి. అండ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ అండర్ ద బోర్డ్ ఆఫ్ సెంట్రల్ పొల్యూషన్ కంట్రోల్ బోర్డ్ ఈస్ టు ప్రమోట్ ద క్లీన్లీనెస్ ఆఫ్ ద స్ట్రీమ్స్ అండ్ వెల్స్ ఇన్ ద డిఫరెంట్ ఏరియాస్ ఆఫ్ ద స్టేట్. సో జస్ట్ రిమెంబర్ ద బోర్డ్ నేమ్. అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ water prevention and control of pollution says 2003. As per according to the section 2 of this act, industries include any operation or the process or any sewage disposal, treatment or any industrial influence, right? So industries which are having the pollution need to pay the cess tax on this, right? And next, right to clean water, a fundamental right. As we know, as per the Indian constitution, Indian judiciary has initiated a positive step with the view of controlling the pollutant of water according to article 21, article 48 and article 51G. These are like fundamental rights. And next, directive 48 as part of directive principles of state policies and fundamental duties 51G, right? And it's on the water quality in India, right? This is by Bureau of Indian Standards. So water, drinking water and specifications. So just go through it, nothing more than this. Just an example, what is the all these things. And next you have what you can say. 100 samples failed in the 7 cities. So how the cities are what you can see most polluted, you can see except Hyderabad and Mumbai, all the major cities and Bhubaneswar, or you can see Delhi, almost 19 parameters not met out of 28. 19 parameters are not met, right? And this is the pollution capital Delhi, right? Number of parameters in which the samples are failing, 19 parameters, right? Only Hyderabad, Bhubaneswar, Mumbai, or what you can say, ranked the best. Okay? Yeah. And these are due to the polluted water. You have maybe affected from the cholera, diarrhea, typhoid, liposis, and chlamydia. These are the diseases which have the severe impact on your health, right? And these are the what you can say measures effect toward the Ganga conservation. So GAP is nothing but Ganga Action Plan, and follow these are the others: National River Conservation Plan, Ganga River Basin Authority, Mission for the Clean Ganga, State Program Management Groups. All this you can see. Firstly, it is launched in GAP Ganga Action Plan. It is launched in 1985. Focus on the mainstream Ganga River, where it covers 25 towns and 260 schemes completed. And next, two, it is extended from the what is say 1993 and mitigated with merged with this National River Conservation Plan in 1996 and took up the work on the four tributaries Yamuna, Gummi, and Damodar, Mahananda, right? And later you launched what you can say in this National River Conservation Plan. It is 1995, and you can see the covered 41 major rivers of the country's 8 Ganga basins, right? And next you have a National Ganga River Basin Authority. It is 2009, chaired by the Prime Minister, and implementing bodies at the center and the state levels, right? And Namami Ganga, you have the Clean Ganga initiative. All more of the people are working on it, right? So you can first phase we have 350 crores, second phase we have 1500 crores. So these are the difference, and these are steps taken. Cleaning initiative, various authorities, water quality, conservation, biodiversity, footprints, river footprints development and research programs, the waste management and diversification. Right, National Mission for the Clean Ganga we discussed, right? It is the 12th August 2011 under the Societies Registration Act, and is implementing the National Ganga River Basin. Now is it is referred as National Ganga Council, which considered under the Environmental Protection Act 1986. Clear? So it is very important for the what you can say on the Clean Ganga initiative and Environmental Protection in 1986, right? State, national, district level to take the measures for the prevention, control, and abandon of environmental pollution in River Ganga, and to ensure the continuous adequate flow of water so that to regenerate the River Ganga. So, as of Environmental Protection Act 1986, we'll be emphasizing on the what you can say control and prevention of these pollution in Ganga River. Right, these are the structure chaired by the Prime Minister under the chairmanship of Jal Shakti Minister, right? And the National Mission for the Clean Ganga, state level committees and the district level committees. These are the objectives of right to ensure the effective abandon of pollution and regeneration of the river Ganga by adopting the river basin approach to promote intersectorial coordination for the comprehensive planning and management to maintain the minimum ecological flow in the river Ganga with the aim of ensuring water quality and environmental sustainable development. So the main agenda is nothing but minimal ecological flow in the Ganga river and ensuring the quality and environmentally sustainable development. Clear? So these are the objectives, and what you can say how the groundwater. So previously also we discussed how India is mitigating the groundwater levels with the initiation called what you can Jal Jeevan mission, right? Groundwater management and visible crisis of invisible resources, right? These are the areas how the northeastern states are heavily what you can say medium high, extremely what you can see Rajasthan, Gujarat areas, right? So level of groundwater extraction lowest in 18 years. So from last 2 decades, very the groundwater is what you can say the level is decreasing day by day, right? So this is the almost 7,000 plus assessment unit in the countries and 1,000 plus units as categorized over exploited. So groundwater resource also we are overutilized or exploited in normal sense, right? So by comparison, an assessment in 2020 found that annual groundwater recharge was 436 billion cubic meters and extracting it 240 cubic meters. In 2017, the recharge is what you can say 430, the extraction is 250, right? In 2020 assessments, the groundwater is lowest since 2014 when it is 250 cubic meters, the recharge. So when the recharge levels is around 400, so we are all extracting almost half of more than half of it, right? So instead, we need to mitigate. Instead of overutilizing, we need to use effective management of the water resources is very necessary. And Central Groundwater Authority constituted under the what you can say Environmental Protection Act 1986, right? And the main agenda of it is nothing but to regulation of the groundwater development to ensure its long-term sustainability. To ensure main agenda aim లేదు, right? The groundwater ఎలా డెవలప్మెంట్ ఇంక్రీజ్ చేస్తూ గ్రౌండ్ వాటర్ లెవెల్ ఇంప్రూవ్ చేస్తూ అది లాంగ్ టర్మ్ లో కూడా లాంగివిటీ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ లాంగ్ టర్మ్ లో యూజ్ అవ్వాలి అలా, రైట్? రైట్. సో జస్ట్ గివ్ మీ అ సెకండ్. రైట్. పూజ స్విచ్. యా, సారీ ఫర్ inconvenience. Central Water Commissions, right? Central Water Commission is a premier uh, technical organization of India. It is in the field of water resources. It is presently functioning as attached office of Jal Shakti Mission, right? Ministry of Jal Shakti, and it is how we have what groundwater authority. It is just maintenance. For the technical purpose we have Central Water Commission, right, headed by the chairman, the with the status of ex officio of secretary of the government, right? And what we are talking from the first Jal Jeevan Mission, right? The main agenda is to provide piped water supply or the drinking water to all the household by 2024. It will be with the central and the state government integrated demand and supply management of the local level also, right? And creation of the local infrastructure for the water harvest, ground recharges, everything will be managed under this, right? Yeah, you can see how the groundwater recharge and the management of what you can say households, everything will be what you can say managed under the Jal Jeevan Mission. You can see the providing tap water to all the rural households by 2024. You can see almost what you can say 15 crores million households to be provided with the tapped water connection by 2024 by Jal Jeevan Mission. Out as per August 2019, out of 18 millions rural household, only 3 has the tabbing, only 3 millions or the 17% has the tab water connections, right? And what you can say, uh, 37 million household provided with the tab water connection since the launch of Jal Jeevan Mission, and more than 7 million rural families or the 36% have what you can say now get clean portable drinking water, right? So we told you what is the advantage of clean drinking water, right? Jal Shakti Ministry, or in emphasizing on it, you can see on the screen, Ministry of Jal Shakti, Department of the Water Resources and River Development and Ganga Regeneration, right? And one more thing is that about the Jal Jeevan mission, it is what you can say providing water from the rivers with the integration. And you know that river integration, what you can say program is going on. Integration of rivers, or what you can say nothing but when a river A and B, for example, if river A has what you can say more, what you can say more water, river B has the deficit water. So A water can be transferred to the B water, so that both rivers can be have provide water to near surrounding areas. That is integration of rivers is going on across India, and the government just see this, right. And one more important thing is that the groundwater recharge. How the Jal Jeevan mission will be having impact on groundwater recharge. So, for example, I hope you most of the people know how the groundwater, or how what you can say most of the people uses the bore wells, right? So mostly daily twice or once, all the people use the what I can say bore water. If the government is providing the tap water to each and every connected house, so these people, what you can say, you reduce their dependency on the bore water, and they will use only tapped water, right? So in that way, the bore water is nothing but the bores are from the groundwater itself, right? So when the dependency of the groundwater is the bores are reducing, obviously the groundwater level will be increasing. The groundwater level will be used by nearby area farmers, and with the more availability of the groundwater, the farmers can what you can say can grow the better productivity. With the better productivity, the food production will be increasing. Food production with the and food security will be increasing, right? So in this way, the Jal Jeevan mission or మన తెలంగాణలో కంపేర్ చేసుకుంటే మిషన్ భగీరథ అండ్ విత్ ద హెల్ప్ ఆఫ్ మిషన్ భగీరథ, కాకతీయ అండ్ కాళేశ్వరం ప్రాజెక్ట్స్, ద ప్రతి ఇంటికి వాటర్ సప్లై చేస్తున్నాం కాబట్టి వాళ్ళు బోర్ యూజ్ చేయరు. వాళ్ళు బోర్ యూజ్ చేయకపోతే ఆ గ్రౌండ్ వాటర్ లెవెల్ మీద డిపెండెన్సీ తగ్గుతుంది. అప్పుడు ఆబ్వియస్లీ మనం డైలీ వాటర్ సప్లై చేస్తున్నాం కాబట్టి రివర్స్ నుంచి ఆ గ్రౌండ్ వాటర్ లెవెల్ ఆబ్వియస్లీ పెరుగుతుంది. ఆ గ్రౌండ్ వాటర్ లెవెల్ ఫార్మర్స్ యూజ్ చేస్తారు. అండ్ ఫార్మర్స్ కి యూజ్ చేశాక దే ప్రొడక్టివిటీ విల్ బి ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతుంది, రైట్? ఆ ఇంక్రీజింగ్ ద ప్రొడక్టివిటీ అంటే వాళ్ళ ఇన్కమ్ పెరుగుతుంది. విత్ ద ఇన్కమ్ దేర్ స్టాండర్డ్ ఆఫ్ లివింగ్ విల్ బి ఇంక్రీజింగ్. ఇన్ దట్ వే ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ ఓన్లీ providing this mere water to the people, but it is providing a well, what you can say, organized life, or what you can say sustainable or life for the people across the rural India. And for the mission Bhagirath, it is not only for the rural areas, for the urban areas also. అండ్ ద మెయిన్స్ రాసే వాళ్ళు ఏంటంటే తెలంగాణ టీఎస్పీఎస్సీ మెయిన్స్ రాసే వాళ్ళకి మిషన్ భగీరథ అండ్ కాకతీయ, దీస్ ఆర్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ స్కీమ్స్. అండ్ one or two questions will directly be from these topics only, right? How mission Kakatiya and mission Bhagirath made the production higher production in the agriculture field. And next, how Kaleshwaram gave more irrigation facilities, or e type low in this type. What are the reasons behind bountiful production of productivity in Telangana state and adutaro? So mission Bhagirath role enti, mission Kakatiya role enti, Kaleshwaram role enti, how these all, and 24 hours were electric supply ఎలా ఎఫెక్టివ్ రోల్ ఎలా ప్లే చేసింది అవన్నీ మీరు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తే మీకు మార్క్స్ బాగా వస్తాయి, రైట్? అండ్ నెక్స్ట్, జస్ట్ గివ్ మీ అ సెకండ్. యా, నెక్స్ట్. సో జల్ శక్తి మిషన్ అండ్ అటల్ భూజల్ యోజన is nothing but to improve the groundwater level. It is Atal Bhujal Yojana. So it is launched on the birth anniversary of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. the former prime minister, and the center providing almost 60,000 crores for the implementation of, 6,000 crores for the implementation of these projects for the 5 years of time. The aim is to improve the groundwater management through the community participation in identified priority areas. Firstly, it is started in few areas like Gujarat, Haryana, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, uh, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, and Rajasthan, right? So simple. Atal Bhujal Yojana. You can see the name itself. You can what you can segregate. Bhujal, nothing but groundwater. Bhujal, right? So what you can say, improvement or to increase the groundwater level with management through the community participation. Just remember, Bhujal Yojana is related to improvement of groundwater level. That's it. Nothing more than is required, right? Yeah. So these are the key sustainable groundwater management with the community participation we discussed. Include the behavioral change in the groundwater management. Demand side management is nothing but where the region have the better or the more demand, so it can be developed in that area, and other demanded areas will be and implemented in the identified water stress areas. Nothing but the areas like Rajasthan, Gujarat, these are suffering from most water stress areas, and convergence with the ongoing central state program. So it is a Jal Jeevan Mission and Atal Bhujal Yojana will be going hand in hand, so that it will be developed. It is under the what you can see government of Ministry of Jal Shakti. Same how the Jal Jeevan Mission is under the Jal Shakti Mission. Same Atal Bhujal Yojana also under Jal Shakti Mission. Jal Shakti Ministry, right? And next, Jal Shakti Abhiyan, nothing but campaign with the what you can say water. Jal Shakti Abhiyan is nothing but catch the rain campaign. So conservation of the harvest program. So how the rainwater harvest or the rainwater is what you can say running water of the rainwater, how we need to conserve those, how we need to use those for the effective of the farmers as well as the people, right? So target communication campaign and real-time monitoring. What you can say, these are the focus areas. Application of the space technology. So how the rainwater is facilitated, where the more rainfall is happening, how we should channelize. Everything will be discussed under this rainwater, right? And you can see on this what you can say. Just give me a second. Yeah. So in this So watershed development. So how the rainwater is what you can say channelized through a water body, and how it is what you can say harvest program, and you know that what you can say dumping pits or the pits with nearby areas, and water, this you can see water conservation and the rain harvest programs, renovation of the traditional and other water bodies. So for this, Telangana government has the what you can say Mission Kakatiya. Mission Kakatiya is nothing but regeneration of lakes and canals. So తెలంగాణ గ్రూప్ 1 మెయిన్స్ రాసే వాళ్ళు ఏంటి వాట్ ఈస్ మిషన్ కాకతీయ వాట్ ఆర్ ద ఎఫెక్ట్స్ మేడ్ బై ద మిషన్ కాకతీయ టు కన్జర్వేషన్ ఆఫ్ ఆర్ ద రినోవేషన్ ఆఫ్ కెనాల్స్ అండ్ ట్యాంక్స్ ఆర్ మేబీ వాళ్ళు ఇలా కూడా వాట్ ఈస్ ద నేమ్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద రీజన్ బిహైండ్ నేమింగ్ మిషన్ కాకతీయ ఫర్ ద రీజనరేషన్ ఆఫ్ canals and the tanks under. During the time of Kakatiyas, they have very peculiar kind of conservation drives on the canals and the lakes. So that is the reason. So Kakatiyas time lo వాళ్ళు effective లేక్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ గాని వాటర్ రిసోర్స్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ చేశారు. సో అందుకని మనం మిషన్ కాకతీయ అని పేరు పెట్టాం, రైట్? సో ఇలాంటి క్వశ్చన్స్ వస్తే బి వెరీ కాషియస్ ఆన్ ద schemes of Telangana, which are very unique and which are very what you can say effectively implementing, right? So when we talk about central schemes, and it is also very important that we should talk the what you can say state level schemes also, because uh, central level schemes ఎంత ఎఫెక్టివ్ రోల్ ప్లే చేస్తున్నాయి స్టేట్ లెవెల్ అంత, బికాస్ in your state you know betterly about your own schemes, right? And you can see in intensive afforestation. Why we are talking about what you can say in the conserve water conservation or the catch the rain campaign or Jal Shakti mission low afforestation ante, when more plants are planted or more trees are forestation is available, so running flow of the water will be restrained. Those trees can stop the trees or the plants can withhold the water, so that the withhold water can be transferred to the groundwater. So in this way, the more forestry or the more trees or the plants is one of the effect plays one of better role for the increasing of groundwater level. So next we have here this, right, reuse borewells and recharge structures. So previously we discussed how the recharge of these borewells or recharge of these canals, all these can be maintained with the water can supplying water to pipe drinking water to each and every household. With the supplying of these what you can say pipe drinking water to each and every household, so they will be reducing what you can say dependency on groundwater level or the bore wells. So obviously the dependency on the groundwater will be decreasing, right? So with the decreasing in the dependency on the groundwater level, obviously the groundwater level will be increasing, right? So the groundwater level groundwater will be used by the farmers, so farmers have the better productivity, right? Application of the space technology. So how space technology is used in the sense where the rainfall is higher in few areas and the lower in few areas, right? So in this way we need to have what you can say uh, how the rainwater is effectively in few areas or the more rainfall in few areas and very limited in few areas, right? And in that way we can allocate the things and how the rainwater is channelized. Everything can be measured through this application of scientific technology, right? And the real time monitoring dashboard. So with the technological upgradation, we can see how much area is under this water harvest program, how much rain water is utilized for the domestic purpose or the industrial purpose, everything we. And target communication campaign is nothing but awareness program, right? Participation, local youth, or the people who are uh, environmental what you can say NGOs, all these people can be actively participated, even the rural people, because the water is very essential for everyone. Rural people, more than the urban, rural people are aware of this requirement of the water, because urban people simply have their negligence on, but not the rural people, right? Right. So just give me a second. So you can see on the screen how what you can say. So Jal Shakti Abhiyan is nothing but catch the rain. So these are the subtopics. Just remember this, very important. Say 8 points. So conserve the water. Every drop counts. So when the rainfall or each drop should be conserved and should be stored for the futuristic purpose or for the farming purpose, right? Conserve the water and every drop counts. Use this type of side headings, it fetches you more marks. ఇలాంటి సైడ్ హెడ్డింగ్స్ రాస్తే ఏమవుతుంది అంటే ఎగ్జామినర్ కి ఒక్కొక్కసారి జస్ట్ ఆ సైడ్ హెడ్డింగ్ చూసి ఈ మే ఇంప్రెస్ విత్ దట్, రైట్? అందుకే సైడ్ హెడ్డింగ్స్ కన్సర్వ్ ద వాటర్ ఆర్ ఎవ్రీ డ్రాప్ కౌంట్స్, పర్ డ్రాప్ మోర్ క్రాప్ అని, ఒక డ్రాప్ పెరిగితే ఒక క్రాప్ ప్రొడక్టివిటీ పెరుగుతుంది, పర్ డ్రాప్ మోర్ క్రాప్ అని, ఇలాంటి స్టేట్మెంట్ రాస్తే ద ఎగ్జామినర్ విల్ ఇంప్రెస్. సో ఇలాంటివి రాయడానికి ట్రై చేయండి. అండ్ objective is nothing but commission is entrusted with the general responsibility of initiating and coordinating and furthering in consultation of state government concerned schemes for the controlling and conservation and utilization of the water resources through the country for the purpose of flood control and irrigation, navigation, drinking water supply, and water improvement. So Jal Shakti Abhiyan will be acting on what you can say, a model or acting as a uh, backbone for all the schemes with the government Jal Jeevan Mission కావచ్చు, అటల్ భూజల్ యోజన కావచ్చు, అన్నిటికీ ఒక బ్యాక్ బోన్ లాగా యాక్ట్ చేసి ఇరిగేషన్ ఫెసిలిటీస్ కి ఎంత వాటర్, డ్రింకింగ్ కి ఎంత వాటర్, పవర్ డెవలప్మెంట్, పవర్ ఎలక్ట్రిసిటీ జనరేషన్ కి ఎంత వాటర్, గవర్నమెంట్ రిసోర్సెస్ కి ఎంత వాటర్, ఇండస్ట్రియల్స్ కి ఎంత వాటర్, అవన్నీ సెగ్రిగేట్ చేసి it will be providing a data, right? సో అలానే ఎక్సెస్ వాటర్ యూ కెన్ సీ హైదరాబాద్ ఫ్లడ్స్ కావచ్చు, టూ ఇయర్స్ బ్యాక్ లా ఈ ఇయర్ కూడా హెవీ రెయిన్ఫాల్ వల్ల ఎలా ఫ్లడ్స్ వచ్చాయి నిజామాబాద్, కరీంనగర్ ఏరియాలో. సో అలాంటి ఫ్లడ్స్ రాకుండా మిటిగేట్ చేయడానికి వీ హ్యావ్ అ జల్ శక్తి అభియాన్, రైట్? సో it will be monitoring all the schemes or the requirement of what you can see, irrigation facilities, drinking facilities, power generation facilities. Everything will be overviewed and giving the data over this, right? Yeah. So that is the last thing, and I hope what you can say gave the all the things which required, right? Uh, with required water pollution, everything will be everything is provided in this lecture, right? I hope maybe it is too long, but for the effective utilization of these lecture will be fruitful for the UPSC student as well as the state PSPSC, maybe ABPSC. And నేను ఎందుకు చెప్తున్నానంటే ద డేటా విచ్ ఏదైతే యూస్ చేసామో ఆ డేటా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ కానీ అది ఒక వాల్యూ అడిషన్ లాగా మీరు ఆన్సర్ రైటింగ్ మధ్య మధ్యలో ఆన్సర్ రైటింగ్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఏంటి, ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మిషన్ భగీరథ ఎలా యూజ్ అవుతుంది, మిషన్ కాకతీయ, కాళేశ్వరం ప్రాజెక్ట్స్ ఇవన్నీ ఎలా యూజ్ అవుతాయి, ఎస్పెషల్లీ తెలంగాణ టిఎస్పిఎస్సి గ్రూప్ 1 మెయిన్స్ రాసే వాళ్ళకు చాలా ఎఫెక్టివ్ గా యూజ్ అవుతుంది, రైట్? అందుకని ఇది లెంతీ లెక్చర్ అయినా మీరు పేషెంట్ గా ఉండి పేషెన్సీతో క్లియర్ గా కంప్లీట్ గా వింటే మీకు చాలా ఎఫెక్టివ్ గా యూజ్ అవుతుంది. అండ్ థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్.